Hey, 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 it's the final episode of our I've Played Heavy Rain series, wherein we've all played the problematic game Heavy Rain. We're all complicit in crimes against humanity now. And I've had a lot to say over the last 25 hours of videos in this series, as have you all, but in case you don't know by now, my name is Matt Hall, and everyone else will say their names separately, not over each other.
You want to do the first?
No, you go ahead.
All right.
You
I'm
take
Andrew
it.
Taylor.
I'm Jordan Hill. I like going third.
All
It's
right.
fine. Yeah, makes sense.
Hey, third is
The bird.
third.
That is one of the very hairy chests.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Which brings us
Scott Shelby.
Naturally.
so this is the episode where we can start to get into all the spoilers. But before we do, last time we left off, Shelby had just confronted Charlie Kramer.
Went all Max Payne on him.
You fucked him up.
Murdered like 13 men with 8 bullets.
Yeah. With one magazine in his pistol.
And Madison had gone to the geriatric ward and gotten a big little secret from the old lady,
That's right. And that is the identity of
the killer,
the Origami killer.
Origami.
Origami killer.
Origami.
And this brings us to,
Deborah.
if you're using the hidden machine counting method, it's chapter 44.
Our patented, secure channel.
If you're not, it's just called The Rat.
It's the rat. It's the fifth and final of the trials. And in this one, very striking visually, I thought.
Yeah, it was another it was similar to, goodness, what was it before? There was another scene earlier that I compared to Twin Peaks. I can't remember what it was.
It was Jaden Blues.
Yes, Jade and Blues. It had like that kind of vibe to it, but also very like Kubrick-esque. Like at the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh my God, I
when
said
he's
the
like
same
kind of
shit.
walking into the
Yeah.
room. You know what I mean? It was very, it
there's
very
moments-
much had that feeling to
There's
it.
moments in that where he's in just a big, beautiful, elegant room.
Yeah, it's like a hallway. It's
a lot
not as
like
like
that.
it's not as like it's like crimson red. You know what I mean? In this, whereas in that it's all white. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
You get this shot of Ethan from behind. Glorious. But I would say, if I had to, I would say
if you had to put it on a tier list
It's
for
a-
the Heavy Rain universe,
it's a great ass. I'm not going to do the voice.
no, I've done it the past probably 6 episodes.
Now,
so.
can you do great ass as Paco Mendez?
Give me a second. I have to
And
do
can you
the.
address Ethan?
I have to get into character and do, it'll make me a little hotter than a collar. Get a little hotter than a collar.
Oh, Ether.
Oh, Ethan, that's a great ass. That's a good ass, Ethan. It's one of the best asses I've ever seen.
We gotta the modding community for Heavy Rain needs to like model swap some scenes and
Yeah,
have Ethan shaking his ass for Paco Mendez.
I feel like Ethan would be
Ethan, got me a hot under the collar.
like, where did you get this sculpture? It's the one that says hard.
Right.
You're going down an entirely red hall into a
Jason! Blue Palace or whatever, Blue Lagoon.
It's a red hall going into a pure white room, full of mirrors and cameras, and like it looks like there's like ornate picture frames or something. It's like a very ornate room, and there's just a little tablet on the, like we've seen before.
It's like a little like vial or whatever.
Right, but there's also is the tablet not there? It's just the camera on you.
Oh, there's a camera and a tablet.
But there's many
I thought you
cameras.
meant tablet as in like a capsule.
No,
no.
I was thinking the tablet from the
Yeah, like a-
scene where you
like
cut
where
your
you
finger
have-
off.
Yes, there is. I believe there is a
there's a
tablet
similar
there.
one.
Yeah.
But
My bad.
your final trial is you have to drink.
Piss.
Well, and then after that, you have the choice to drink poison, and you'll get the final clue, and you only got 4 clues, or 3 so far.
'Cause you didn't kill him, man.
I've only got there's 4 trials, yeah.
There's 5 trials.
5 trials? Okay, so I only have 3 at this point. Yes.
Right,
Because you murdered. You
So-
didn't
weird
murder
that
that
there's-
man in cold blood.
I didn't murder the man.
right. So you'll get your final clue, but if you drink the poison, you'll die in 60 minutes, which is just enough time to save your son.
Which is kind of the whole point.
The killer really figured out the logistics on this one.
I didn't know there was poisons that could do that to you, but you know.
There is.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's in the game.
Just like the drill jackhammer.
The impossible tool.
It's a hammer drill.
Hammer drill.
We
yes.
figured it out.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. We inevitably reached a conclusion on that.
It's just the jackhammer type motion is almost imperceptible from the human eye.
Not to this eye.
Jordan, you all right?
Yeah, I said
Yeah,
it. I said
Jordan
it.
knew
It
it
looked like
instantly.
was.
The way you described it, though, you're like it was like a handheld jackhammer, which is not incorrect. I just could not picture. I pictured just some tiny, like, like it only has one handle instead of two, and it looks just like a jackhammer that you just could carry easier, like a reciprocating saw.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of videos of people using them last night.
Did you want us ASMR
The rabbit
to fall
holes of heavy
asleep?
rain.
I'm sorry, what?
I said you watched it as ASMR to help you fall asleep.
No, it was definitely for spanking it.
Oh. What are they called? What kind of drills?
Hammer
Yeah, they're
drills.
called hammer drills.
Give me hot under the cover. Is my Paco good?
That wasn't very good. I thought you were doing something else.
Hammer drills.
Yeah,
Paco.
you got a little bit of candygram from Mongo.
Maybe a nose run. Cut to footage or something right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to keep those to a minimum.
Andrew wipes his nose with a t-shirt.
I have a lot of allergies happening to me.
I got a lot of sweat happening to me.
There's that too.
It's the sweatiest episode of Heavy Rain. We're all very nervous about who the killer is.
Yes, I'm very. We're all dripping with anticipation.
Can I just finish what I'm trying to say?
No.
I downed that bitch and
did you?
stepped away.
I did too. I did admittedly. I hesitated
Did
for
you
a
guys
minute.
just go for it, or?
No, I pondered it. I listened to all my
Verily?
thoughts, which was basically like, oh, Ethan will live, but he'll die without a dad. Or
Sean.
something.
Sean will live.
That,
but
take two. Sean will live, but he'll grow up without a father. He'll die without a dad.
right, and then there's the other option of just like living with just accepting the fact that you're like, oh, I'll just let him die, I guess.
Yeah, I thought like I tried to approach every Ethan scenario as like, what would a parent? What would they choose? You know what I mean? Not like me as the player, but like Ethan in his scenario as a parent, what would he choose? No way, no parent that loves their kids would want to live. There's no way. You know what I mean?
Outlive their own child?
Yeah. No
Yeah.
parent that loves their children would want that.
Larry
Well,
King.
I should say no parent that has a good relationship.
Well, Larry King, there's this anecdote about him.
Didn't he become a father at like 70?
Oh, I don't know about that.
he
He
had
was
children pretty
interviewing
old.
somebody whose son had just died,
That's a good time.
and
to interview somebody.
I believe who's the famous actor, Paul Newman.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's a lot of them.
I believe this is the anecdote. I could be telling this wrong, but he's interviewing him. And he's it must be hard without your son. Paul Newman said you never get over it. And it's,
that was his thing. That was his contribution.
yeah, to the guy talking about the
Well.
death of his son. I've heard it. It really sucks.
And then it doesn't go away. Anyway, I'm gonna start dumping loads into my 20-year-old
Well,
wife.
we'll be right back. Did you all drink the poison?
I drank the shit out of that poison.
I
yeah.
downed it. Yeah.
Well, that's the end. You just then we go to the next chapter.
You're down. It tells you the name of the street, right? On the fucking.
It gives
They
you
got me some more.
it gives you the final clue, whether
Yes.
that's all the clues or not.
That's fair.
You did all the trials
I
successfully.
did all of it. I shot that man in the head. I cut
Right.
off my fingertip, no hesitation. All
Flipped
of it.
a
I
car.
rolled around in glass.
Yeah, rolled around in glass for a little while. Got super electrocuted once.
From the electronic compressors.
Yeah, from the compressors.
From the sound of them, I'd say they were active, but so you didn't shoot the guys, so you had to guess.
Yes.
Eventually.
So it gets to a clutch
when do you
point.
guess?
Do you guess right now?
You might.
Let's assume you do.
So if when you do guess, no, I think it's yeah. I do think you guess right here.
I have
You
a vague memory of this. That's how I played the first time as well. I didn't shoot the guy the first time.
You didn't
Yeah.
murder the man?
Couldn't do it. So
You kill
the
yourself,
way
but not another man.
I'm assuming this happens for if you have anything less than all of the details because the number of the street is the same and the first two words are the same. It's 825, I think, Theodore Roosevelt, and it's either road, park, or street. Now, when I went to go choose this, I was just like, well, fuck me. It's just a guess.
Yeah.
There's no other context clues. I slammed on one of them, don't remember what it was. And then I noticed that there was something else that I could look at in my car. And I was like, oh shit. So I hit B and then I checked out whatever that was. I just think he picks up his phone and he puts it to him as if he's making a call. I don't know if this is a glitch, but he doesn't call anybody. And he just like looks at it and then he puts it down. It's very strange. So when I navigated back over, my choice, I bumped the stick and it chose a different one. And I was just like, I'm going to choose that one instead.
As if it was fate tempting you to go that way.
Yeah.
Destiny decided.
And I locked in. I said, final answer, Regis.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Very
reference.
aggressive.
Regis.
You're dead already.
You old fucker.
Kelly's not even on the show anymore, I don't think. It's like Ryan Seacrest and...
Michael.
Michael Vick, you're right.
It's Michael Strahan, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it is. I think
No.
it's Michael Vick.
It's Michael Vick now.
So chapter
Michael and Michael
45,
in the morning.
the next chapter brings you to solving the puzzle with Jaden in his virtual office inside of the real office.
Which mine was on the planet Mars.
Yeah, it just kind of changes every now. I thought like once I picked the ocean, it was going to stay there, but
Jaden is going buck wild on the invisible file system, and you're
Yeah.
not seeing him in airy mode. You're seeing him like how we would see
In
him,
reality.
you know, third person.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
yeah, and
He's doing karate moves.
he's doing so. He says something like, "I gotta find this kid. I'm running out of time. I am. Oh no!"
I can't find.
it sounded more
Sean
Hank
Moore.
Hill. Yours sounded more Hank Hill.
Do you think I was doing a foghorn leghorn?
I think so.
Well,
Clearly,
Rousty Babs.
you were both going for Norman Jaden, but it's hard to read what
man
he's.
of many
It's hard to
voices.
read.
Sean
his
Mars
accent.
is going to die.
Sean Mars is going to die.
So Blake comes in, and he
Sean
says, "Didn't you hear? We got the guy. Ethan Mars is the origami killer."
Origami.
And he goes,
Oh, shut up.
he says, "You can fly your files back to Washington," which I wrote down as just like an absurd line, a totally absurd line.
On an absurd interaction, there's no reason that Blake should be upset with Norman Jaden.
Because he's a bitch.
I mean, yes, but he's trying to help with his
No,
fancy
yeah, I mean,
tech.
He
like,
doesn't
but
think
he-
he's trying to help. He
no,
thinks
he's
that
like-
he's impeding progress.
Yeah, he's challenging his entire.
Pissing on the wheels.
Yeah, I guess that's a phrase somebody has said.
Pissing on the wheels of progress.
Is that a thing? Yeah. Okay, I'll accept it. I
I
guess.
can't think of
just
something that
never-
fast.
I hear you. I've never heard that before. Pissing on the wheels of progress.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not fucking around.
Well, you're not fucking around?
Not fucking around.
He's not pissing on the wheels of progress.
No, I'm
What-
shitting
I
on
am
him.
right now
Are you,
because I
are
got
you,
some
are you
trash.
saying that that's a common phrase?
Yeah. You looking it up? Matt doesn't
That's-
believe anything I say.
Fact check,
Matt
real
thinks I'm
time.
a joke person that got sent into his life.
You will often be like 3 degrees away from the thing. You're like, yeah, I basically said that.
I don't agree.
Coming on the spokes of kindness, and you're like, that's not it.
You're basically shitting
On the trail.
Pissing. Pissing on the wheels of progress.
on the tank tracks of progression. Pissing on the wheels of progress.
Where have you heard it?
I don't know. I remember hearing it in high school a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Who said that to you in high school a lot?
What
I
is
hung
this
out
thing?
with you in high
Is this
school.
a cross-examination?
Yes.
Are you good cop, bad copping me? Are you good cuck, bad cucking me right now?
Yeah.
I'm
Suck
Googling
his
it.
dick.
No.
There's a band called Palatka that
they
has
talk about
an
pissing?
album called "Pissing on the Wheels of Progress" that was released in 1998.
Maybe that's where
It's
comes
house
from.
music.
That's not what I expected for that name.
Admittedly,
from
that
the
was
hit
Duck
TV
Duck
show?
Go.
You're using DuckDuckGo to find this
I-
phrase?
Matt doesn't use Google.
I'm going to Google. I'm going to Google now.
Peanut gallery, I like that one.
Gogan to Google.
I'm going goggle. I'm goggling right now.
This is
There-
white
there's
hot
one.
entertainment.
There's one thread about this. There's literally one result.
Is it from A. Taylor, 1994? Ask me if anybody else has heard
It's
this
from
before.
Stay Frosty 44.
That is
What
not
does
it.
the acronym POTWOP mean?
Oh,
And a buddy from work says another guy is pot whopping.
pissing on the wheels of progress?
Yeah.
I think it's like a blue collar kind of term.
like blue collar comedy tour?
Pissing on the wheels of progress.
Get her done.
I've never heard that before. It's crazy that there's literally
One other person.
One other person online has said it. I wonder if Potwop is more. I don't like saying that.
It sounds bad. I remember the first person who told me to go pound sand. I was like, what does that mean?
That's a weird one. Yeah, beat feet.
That one I kind of get.
Yeah, but
Means, like, get
pound
outta
sand
here.
is rough.
Pound sand, I was like, what is
Go
that?
sit in syrup, you pot
I was
walk.
like, don't finish that sentence.
What's the end of it?
The,
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
the only result for Potwop is something in Thailand. So
There you go. It's a great restaurant. Potwop.
Man, I've been saying that as if it's a pretty common term, so now
maybe it'll become more of a thing now.
I feel like it's in the same category as negative Ghost Rider. Like, I thought, like, every person that says negative Ghost Rider has also said you're pissing on the wheels of progress.
I've never heard negative Ghost Rider. What does
That's
that
a
mean?
negative Ghost Rider. That's from, I think that's from Top Gun. I've never seen Top Gun.
I've never seen Top Gun.
There's a guy named Ghost Rider. Are you saying Ghost Writer or Rider?
Rider.
Oh.
You know, like Nicolas Cage in his movie?
Yeah, I thought you meant like Ghost Rider,
Johnny
the
Blaze.
PBS
Also known
children's
as
show.
Method Man.
No.
No, about a ghost that comes out of a computer and helps write
It
emails.
starts writing. It's very scary.
Starts accidentally
familiar with
sending
this?
compromising
No.
photos.
Are,
from-
are you Ghost
No.
Rider?
Nope.
Oh, it was a show I watched a lot of as a kid.
I just know it as like a real, like, what a Ghost Rider is.
It's a profession, yeah.
Right. Well, in this, it's a literal ghost that comes out of a computer and helps you write emails and stuff.
That
There you
sounds
go.
sick. I
So,
could
like,
use one of
the
those.
They,
Paperclip?
they solve mysteries.
The folder's
Oh.
inside the computer?
He, you know, if you like push on your eyes really
Yes.
hard, you might see like a little like color
I did
ball.
that a lot as a kid.
Yeah, he looks like that. He looks like a little
Okay.
hardly perceptible ball of color.
Right.
I'll put a Ghost Rider clip in here.
We don't know where he came from.
He just showed up one night.
What is that thing?
He's not an alien.
What is he?
We think he might be a ghost.
Hardly perceptible ball of cum.
I'm wondering if that's just like a regional thing or if it's just like a couple years too far in the past for you guys.
Probably just a couple years too
Aurora
far.
Borealis.
I was like, 'cause we're from not that far.
Not that far. Not so
No.
much that we wouldn't have like at least been aware of some of the same children's shows.
Never
Yeah.
heard of Ghost Rider, I don't think.
Well, are you saying that Blake perceives Jaden as pissing on the wheels of progress? I think they think each other are.
Yeah.
I think they're both.
Two clashing
Everyone's like,
ideologies.
I'm doing it there.
Yeah,
I'm doing it
they
there.
both think they're absolutely botching it.
Yeah. The other one. That's
Yeah.
botching it, yeah.
They're
So
also both very, low self-esteem.
he tells me I'm off the case, that Ethan's the
different
killer,
ways.
and I get very worked up. And in this scene, you don't have a choice. You just snort some tryptocane.
You gotta. You just do a line.
And then we go into airy mode. And I think this is also when like you get like a flashback of the waiter.
Yeah,
Being
he's like
like-
in the office with you.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't do too much, you know what?" It's like the same voice line. and everything.
could die.
That wouldn't be very good. I think he says something like that. It's like, yeah, okay.
Dying is bad.
So you can look at your video of the Blue Lagoon. I can't say that still.
Blue Lagoon.
Blue
the
Lagoon.
the 99 blue balloons.
Blue Lagoons.
99 said enough balling.
So you didn't find anything in this video. You mentioned.
I must have. I mean, like, I didn't.
You don't have to.
I didn't personally, but like, I didn't accuse Blake because it gives you the
Right.
option. You can like accuse Blake in this moment, or you can look at your evidence.
So glad I didn't
Right.
do
So,
that.
but did you find any evidence in the video?
No, I don't think so.
So the one thing you can find, you pause the video and he's like choking you. His wrist is revealed. He's wearing the lieutenant's watch from earlier.
That same golden watch.
The
remember?
same
'Cause
watch
were
they gave-
raising funds for it. in the beginning?
Okay.
So it's like he's a cop. He's a lieutenant.
Or it used to be.
And it's like, oh, is Lieutenant Blake?
There's a couple moments.
Right.
There's a couple moments. I think 3 in the video that if you pause it and then analyze. Like one of them was the katana, but it
Yep.
doesn't lead to anything. You're just
No,
like, oh, he's
that's a
holding
red herring.
katana, and then there's another
Okay.
one that's something. But on that one, yeah,
I thought there was another one too, but I couldn't only find 2.
I kept going.
So you look at a couple other pieces of evidence, and
was trying,
eventually
man.
you can like geolocation on something, and he'll be like, "Wait a minute, that's it. That's where the killer has to be." Because you find that the
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's what I did too. Because if you have like the gas station receipts from his pocket,
I had that.
If you like rip his pocket out or whatever, you have like the gas station receipts. You know he's a cop. You know about the origami place. You know what I
it's
mean.
that
and
you
the
know
murders.
there's only one cop who like lives in in that certain area.
Oh,
Yep.
how did I miss that? So
You have to like look at every piece of evidence and do geolocation and everything, and you
Yeah.
might not have gotten every piece of
Oh
evidence.
no, yeah, yeah.
Because the evidence is all
Botched
based on
it.
evidence you've collected.
Because well, okay, let's try to figure it out. Because I definitely had the watch thing, so I knew it was a former lieutenant. I had the thing that said that I had the tickets, the receipts that said he lived around this area. Do you remember what the final thing was?
I don't know.
Some
It
sort
could
of
have
thing
been
that helped locate which.
Did you do the geolocation and everything?
I did, yeah.
I
Maybe
think it was just
forgot
like
to.
you compare it to like the literal like the victims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned maybe what I did is this I might have I quit. I remember my gaming session, my Epic Gamer session in the middle of that chapter where I was looking at the data and then I jacked off and went to bed or whatever. And then when I started up the next
How else
day
do you fall asleep?
I can't.
That's how I wake up.
Start jacking off. I said sometimes when you fall asleep in the
What?
same
Ah!
position.
Oh my God.
You fall asleep and you wake up in the same position. Oh, a ghost.
Had all this
I gotta call a doctor.
old and new cum get on you.
Had this erection for more than 8 hours.
I'm creating a candle in my body.
The entire evening.
But no, I picked it up again, and I might not have retread the stuff that I had
Well,
already done from the night previous.
I have in my notes. I just didn't look down. But now that I did,
Look down.
So when you're going through Airy, there's a sort of like wire mesh, almost like virtual boy ass looking representation of each piece of evidence.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There's like it's not quite wireframe, but it's not it. I don't know. It's like this line art
Cool
version of it,
techno looking.
like 3D line art.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody did they did a 3D printer with the drawing, the pens, the 3D printing pens. So you can just draw like
No
you know
idea
what I'm talking
what
about.
that is. No.
Basically, like you can just like draw line.
It is just like hooked
just-
up to.
It's like the filament that's in it just like dries fast enough and hard enough that you could just like draw a cube and then
wild.
Fucking. The future is now.
they've had those for like 10 years, I think.
The future
Fuck.
is definitely now.
Well, they're pretty cool. So there's one that's just a big question mark.
Yeah.
And if you go to it, it says the killer is a cop.
Yeah.
And if you geolocation that,
Oh.
then he goes,
I had no reason to think I should geolocate that.
There's a cop
I
that owns
geolocated
a warehouse
everything.
near those docks. That's got to be where it is. It's like, like property records or something.
Yeah, somehow. Airy is ridiculous. I said Airy this time. I got it. Airy is ridiculous in the sense that it's like, because we mentioned earlier, it's like you'd like touch something and it's like Andrew Taylor, you know what I mean? Born 1994, blah, blah, blah. Like he's been arrested for this. His blood type is this. And you're
know
like,
what.
wild.
Occupation.
No arrests. No current arrests.
This is
For
the
anybody
future.
keeping track.
No known allergies. So I gotta go. I gotta go save Ethan Mars and Sean Mars. And
I have to save this drowning child.
as I leave, Blake goes. And it's like,
He makes a
what
really,
does that mean?
He was giving you a squinty look and he turned his nose up to you.
So
It's
he's
like, what is he doing?
What are
It's like,
you up to? God.
Weird. So that's such a bummer because this might be, I think, if this is your last
this
time
is
that you play.
a junction point.
Yeah, this is the last. Ooh, Quantum Break.
Callback.
Quantic Dream. What's it mean? Quantum Break 2. Is it coming?
Quantic Dream. What's it mean?
They're gonna be oh my God! What if Quantic Break? Quantic. What are they called?
If you fuck this up, this is the last time you see Jaden.
And I did. That was not the last time I saw it. Well, not the last time I saw him until
It's the last time you take control of
last
him.
time you play as him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I blew it. Man, which
Yep.
means I fucking nailed like everything up until that point. I did.
You fucked it. Well, you didn't shoot the man in the head.
Right.
It's the other thing you can nail.
As Ethan?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Didn't nail that.
No.
Well, that's that.
That's that for that.
Chapter 46 is Goodbye, Lauren.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Peace out,
Did you all
Lauren.
have this one?
Goodbye. Yes.
This is where you're at the
Oh,
train
yes, yes,
station.
yes,
You can
yes.
clearly see that you're in like the northeast
East Coast, yeah.
And so
City.
basically, he goes, "Oh, you're gonna stay with your mother for a few days." She doesn't want to leave, but she's like, "I don't want to leave you alone while you confront my son's murderer." But he insists, and they share a long goodbye kiss. And she just stands like this, with like her like like as if like her character model like was
frozen.
like not T-posing, but just you know what I mean, like
Like it was just a stock.
completely frozen.
Like it was in like edit mode.
Yeah.
Like you're like
Or, like-
customized, and it's like, yep,
Like
here we are.
Some sort of like default posture that wasn't quite a T-pose.
Yeah, it was very, very limp, and boy, I want to revisit this scene. This scene is like a minute long, but we'll talk
Yeah.
about it again later. Chapter 47.
It was a nice moment between Scott Shelby and Lauren.
It was very tender. He's doing the right thing. So chapter 47 is Hold
That's going
My
into the
Hand.
compilation.
Hold My Hand. We're going back to the year 1977. A lot of great movies that year. A lot of great albums.
That's a Hootie and the Blowfish song. I was trying to think of. Hold my hand, I'm gonna love you the best that
No
best
idea.
that I can.
Never know any music you guys
No.
talk about.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
I know that song very well.
Yeah, okay. I was like, you for
I
a minute,
enjoyed it
was
quite a
like-
bit when it came out. I must have been 9 years old.
Yeah, I was like,
I got a real kick out of the name of that band. I thought it was very funny for some reason. I just thought it was so fucking stupid. Yeah,
I
it's a
thought
stupid ass name.
Bare Naked Ladies for me as well was like a. I thought that was a silly.
I was always really
name.
hoping that there would be some when they were doing stuff. It was like, it took me a while to go like, wait a minute, these guys are just losers.
That's like going to like when GoDaddy.com started their commercials.
You got
You're
your
like
rock hard.
11 years old. And You're
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go see boobs. You go to GoDaddy.com, and it's just like you want to create a website, and you're like, oh, that's not.
Like, you want to purchase a domain name?
like, not at all.
I'm trying to.
Uh,
I don't know how to jack off, but I'm trying to do that.
anyway,
I'm fucking so sweaty.
he's out of the band now.
Yeah, you look bad. You all right? You feel
Yeah,
okay?
I'm fine. I'm just sweaty as hell.
hydrated?
So Jaden
Anymore.
is on the
So
case.
sweaty. Oh my god, are you okay?
Oh yeah.
All right.
You not look that sweaty to me.
Look at his fucking in here.
Well, I mean, sure, but to me, it'd be more
it
like,
wet?
is it like pouring down his head?
Oh yeah. If I had like a bunch of flop sweat.
All right. It's pretty good.
So Jaden's on the case. Lauren's gone away, but we're going back to 77. You're in control of the boy again, and you're trying to get your dad.
That boy.
Dad hits you.
He's not a cool dad.
He refuses to help, and he says it's good that John will die.
He says, one less mouth to feed. And takes another swig from his fucking like Jack Daniels bottle.
Bad dad.
Bad
So-
dad. But you're
Yeah.
also living in a trailer on a construction site.
Yes.
So
So little mystery boy runs back.
Yes,
young
and he goes
Johnny.
back to John, and John says, "Don't forget me, Scotty."
and in this moment I said, no, it could just there's people there's
got
other people named
other
Scott.
names?
There's other
No,
guys.
what?
There's
It couldn't
Scott.
be. It could possibly
They said he
be.
changed his
That's-
name
that's his
for
nickname.
that's just no, there's no way. And then I was like, maybe he's not maybe he didn't kill him for that. Maybe that's not why he was killing
You're
him.
getting real far away.
Maybe he's just not like maybe that's not why. I'm like
Different guy.
I could not accept I couldn't.
I think it was another full chapter before I accepted this.
if you look at my notes, it was.
Yeah.
Chapter 48 is Origami Killer. Scott Shelby. Scott Shelby is sitting there. He's burning evidence. Now, in this, it'll depend on how you played things out. For me, he burned the envelope from Lauren.
Right.
He burned the phone from the suicide baby house.
Yep,
right.
Suicide Baby.
He burned Hassan's shoebox. He burned some stuff, a photo of him and his brother that he took from his mom's hospital room.
Yep.
And we then get a montage where you see that he bashed Manfred over the head with a typewriter and killed him.
I know. Like Frundle came in to be like, "Oh, what's taking him so long?" And it was just like, "Good move."
Yeah.
This was like so like mind blowing to me because it was like, it's cool the way that they made you go around and like you think you're collecting evidence,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like not for the purpose you
It's
thought.
a great,
you know what I
it's
mean?
a great cover for a killer to be like, yeah, I'm investigating that murderer.
Yeah,
That's
like
pretty solid.
I'd like to get all the evidence you have from him so that I can look at it. That's why,
And check out,
not
see
so
what
that
it
there
is.
isn't any for anyone else to look at.
And then you
He
also,
actually slips up and he's like, "Did you find the glove? Did you give me the glove?" And he's like, "Huh? The glove? It was on the counter." What?
What?
And then it's like, "Oh, what?" How did you notice?
you also see that
typewriter.
he
He always has a typewriter. with him.
well, you also see that he bashed Paco Mendes in the head with a typewriter.
He says,
No, I'm sorry, he shot his
Shot
ass.
him in the head
says,
with the
Scotty."
typewriter, the Chicago typewriter from Resident Evil 4. Another callback to another guy I played. Check out all our I Played series.
Smooth. So, I mean, this is like, and he's just like sitting over his like tiny burn barrel, just burning shit in his apartment.
It's just a little garbage can, like
Yeah.
a little waste
Yeah.
basket.
He was crying. He was crying, right?
I don't think so.
I thought he was crying.
I don't remember
Were
that.
But
you
in this-
crying so hard that you,
So
you
hard.
saw
You were
tears on the
sobbing
screen?
and you
I
were
was
like, I can't
projecting-
believe this guy's jumping.
Projecting my emotions
The
onto this man.
Oregano killer.
No.
I was just like, oh. When I first experienced this, it's just like, God damn it.
Yeah, I was bummed.
It was very M. Night Shyamalan.
From
It was
the
very. I think I
onset-
messaged you guys in
Yes.
the moment. I was like, you gotta be,
damn it.
God fucking damn it. I was like, you
Yeah.
gotta be kidding me right now.
I
Like,
really.
You said I'm legitimately no longer going to enjoy this game.
those were my exact words.
They got me there. I really did not see it coming, even though. So, is it a solid twist? It's a solid twist, right?
I thought it was. I mean,
I mean, you knew it was one of them.
yeah.
yeah, it has
you
to
know?
be somebody that you're playing as ostensibly, because like it's clearly not any of the outside characters.
It's
you know?
Yeah.
set up for, basically it's set up for anyone but Madison
Yeah,
figure
because
out.
she's effectively
to be the killer.
entirely
to be the
unrelated
killer.
to it.
But it could easily be Blake. It could easily be Ethan. It could easily be Shelby.
Other than
Yeah.
Norman, it couldn't be Norman.
Right.
That's really it.
No, or it could have been Kramer's boy.
Yeah, could have been little Kramer.
Gordon.
Coming to NBC this fall, Little Kramer.
A little Kramer. Ooh.
So yeah, so that was that. We're almost done here. It's chapter 49.
Can you believe it?
Killer's Place. So Madison is outside of Scott Shelby's apartment. Mm-hmm. She's trying to break in. This is where I mentioned
She's
that
twisting on the doorknob right in the center of the fucking
Yes.
door.
So this is
She's like, what the
a
fuck?
this is a European thing, having the big doorknob directly in the center of the door. This is not a thing you will see in New York City
Not
or any
usually.
American city, really.
Yeah,
Not really.
yeah.
Unless someone
I've-
is pretentious.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
No, and even when I looked it up, it seemed like it wasn't common.
Yeah.
I've never even, you mean like you've never seen that even in a movie?
I've never seen
I've
that.
never-
I've never
seen
been
that.
aware of that as a thing
no.
ever.
And I
Same here.
consume a
And
fair
it's
amount of like
it's a big knob,
not
too.
American.
Yeah, Jordan loves like Doctor Who.
No, I like fuck off.
Jordan loves Doctor Who.
I don't
Who's
like
the best
Doctor
doctor?
Yeah.
Andrew.
Andrew.
The girl one.
Andrew only watches Doctor Who because he likes to say TARDIS.
Feels like he's getting away with something.
Like, no, you misunderstood me. I'm a big fan of Doctor Who.
Uh-huh.
You TARDIS.
So I go in, and I believe what she's. If you go to his burn basket, I didn't get the line exactly right. And it bothers me, but I'll try to put the quote in here. But for you guys, I'll say it out loud. Oh, that's where the smell of smoke is coming from.
That's where the smell of burning comes from. Evidence going up in smoke.
The burn bucket.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
she says that, and it's like, I don't know. It just struck me as a very odd line read.
There's a lot of awkward lines in this game, especially if you go to like your thoughts.
His little
where you
bucket was like
interact with,
a,
weird
was like a
stuff.
stew pot, right? That's what it
No,
looked
I
like?
thought it was I thought it looked like just a wastebasket that you have like just next to your desk. Like you get it
Yeah,
for like
it just looks like a very
$5
standard trash
like
can.
plastic trash
Okay,
can
I
you
thought
get
it was
from
like
Walmart.
like a big soup.
You thought it was a kettle?
Yeah, where it's just like metal. You make
It could have been a
big-ass soup in
metal
it?
wastebasket, but I don't think it was a.
Probably
I don't
doesn't
think it was a stock pot.
No, I don't think it was at all.
matter. Okay, I thought it was a stock pot. 'cause
I didn't
then
see
that would-
handles
that would
on
be
it.
Ideal.
Well, the stock pot's
To
not going to
burn
burn.
Yeah.
It's going to contain the fire.
Yeah.
Whereas what you want is for the fire to spread, because he's not just trying to, as we'll learn in a moment.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ.
Well, I think it's two separate fires.
I thought so as
But
well.
also, he is trying to burn everything. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
But would he have if he hadn't gotten caught? Hard to say.
Does he know he's caught?
Right, it's hard to say.
Yeah, because the only thing that the only thing he could be aware of is that Ethan drank the poison.
Right.
And so he knows that there's finally like a worthy father, you know what I mean? Who's like who was a father who's not a coward, you know what I mean, or whatever.
And so this, I do want to, before we talk about Madison's adventures in hell, I want to just briefly
Part two.
speak on how fucked up it was that this man murdered a woman's son and then was smooching on her.
really made me feel disgusted.
It made me feel good that I specifically tried to never romance her in any of my options. That like made me feel like, thank God I didn't.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't have that added
I never-
level
yeah.
of like.
I understand
regret.
a tender goodbye kiss that's non-romantic, like a platonic.
Yeah, when
kiss.
I left for college, we kissed, we cried for a little while.
Some of that's true, yeah.
One of those two
It's
things
just
is
like,
true.
you know,
I never
it's
cried.
it's not unheard of,
Yeah.
but he's a filthy liar.
Yeah, he's a fucking. This is scum.
He's
This
a
is
horrible,
scumbag
horrible
moment.
man.
It was a very upsetting, and like my ending was satisfying in that sense.
Yeah,
trying to make a
we'll
kid,
talk
like,
about that.
In my head canon, the good that exists inside Scott Shelby must have a tremendous guilt for what he's doing. I feel like he has these dueling personalities. This is all headcanon. This is all my conjecture. But I feel like in that moment, he may have known that those were his final moments, and like he was just like giving in to.
It's so hard to say because we don't see enough of the evil Scott to know
Yeah.
how much of it is like a real dichotomy and what's
And
like
yeah.
fake, what's real.
I disagree with you, and we'll get into
fucking
it
stupid.
in the next chapter.
Okay,
But, like,
so
for right now.
so we'll wrap this up. So basically, you know, you told me that you had a little trouble finding this initially, but you can look inside the closet and
In the living room, yeah.
in the living room there. Knock on the wall. There's a false wall there.
false wall.
Go
Hello?
in. He has like a. It looks like kind of like the little hacking station from the Matrix, or like
or from any of those movies, like,
Like-
Hackers or anything like
yeah,
that. Or
where there's just like somebody's got like a dark little hacking room.
in like
they go,
in like Ace Ventura, when he like goes through like the metal show. And
Yeah.
he gets into that guy's room where it's just kind of glowy, and there's computers and desks and heavy lights. And,
yeah,
like,
it's just
plants.
like a weird little all black room with he's
Concrete
growing the
walls.
orchids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His little grow station.
He's growing the orchids. He's got a monitoring station, so he's actually just sitting there and watching little boys drown on his TV.
What do you guys watch?
About the same.
I can't find enough videos like that, so I don't watch that very often.
There's a Facebook group I'll invite you to.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
The end. No. So I'm like, oh my god. So basically, what happened for me was I went on his computer and I was able to figure out his password.
As was I.
Same.
Max.
Max.
All the dogs are named Max. I kept telling him you can't name every dog Max, but he wouldn't listen to me.
Yeah, because you can do whatever the fuck you want because they're
Such
not
an
real
easily,
animals.
like if you were to be hacked and they were trying like a just like an algorithm generated like password guesser, they would guess Max in like seconds. You know what I mean? You know
Well,
what
it'd
I'm
take a
trying
little
to say?
bit, but it's like because it's only 3 letters, you know what I mean? It would get to that faster than like if it
and
was
it's- and
7
it's-
letters.
Yeah, but
I
it's
guess.
also 3 letters that spell out a common word. All of those are always tried very quickly.
I don't know how that works, so I guess.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
telling you
yeah.
right now.
I believe you.
I mean, maybe, but also, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's you know, I don't think he's expecting anyone to go in there with any sort of hacking tools. I think he
Yeah.
thinks he's pretty well safe.
Yeah.
Pretty wall safe, if you know what I mean.
Woohoo! Chronicles of
But
Narnia.
as soon as I'm like, I gotta warn Ethan, I know because I put in the password, I'm able to find out his location, Sean's location, and I'm like, I gotta tell Ethan, and he's like, I walk out of the closet, and he's like, end of the line,
just like an R. Kelly music video.
I'm opening the closet.
Didn't get it at first.
Yeah, well, he was gonna kill me. He wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
Madison. Is
Me,
this
Matt
the
Hall.
same experience you had?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he kind of backs you up into the thing. I think you have a little bit of back and forth, but he's not down. He's not trying to talk to you. So he like just got me in there and locked this incredibly
Yeah,
heavy door.
I tried to talk to him. I was like, you know, like let this one kid live. Like we just give it up. And he said, "You don't understand." And he made a really goofy face.
He did the same face. He did the asthma face. From
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
So he locks me in the room and then lights the whole apartment on fire. And I was able to take a piece
And
of heavy
he
machinery.
turns on a fucking like a propane tank.
Right, I'm not sure if you see that
correctly.
immediately or not, but yeah, he's basically saying a large explosive to go off in the
Yeah.
building. So I was able to grab a piece of heavy machinery and bash a hole through the wall.
Yes, same.
And get out into his like.
His bedroom. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
it was
I think
Or
it
no,
was
the bathroom. No.
I think it was someone else's living room. I think you were like going into a different apartment at that point.
Were you?
I didn't think so.
I thought
Yeah, I
you were
think
just going
so.
into your bathroom or your bedroom.
Maybe.
This is
From
a high action moment. So
Yeah, it's like
I
you
feel
just
like you
kinda
were
ran
in
right
some
out.
rooms that weren't in his apartment.
Well, no, because it was you. I'm pretty sure you are, because the whole thing's filled with smoke. Like your whole part. You know what I mean? The entire time you're in there, it's filled with smoke as you're going through.
I thought you were only in his apartment.
As you're going
but
through the apartment when you first arrive.
No. As you're like trying to escape.
as
Oh,
you're
the whole
getting
thing's
out.
filled with smoke and fire.
Yeah,
The fire spread fast.
but I thought you remained within his apartment.
Yeah, so I figured.
But
Maybe.
but recalling the layout, that wouldn't be his room, would it?
Doesn't make sense, no.
That would be in the bathroom.
Because you busted through the left hand door, right? If you enter the secret closet, the room that you bust through is on the left.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
for me, yeah.
So,
that would
yeah.
that would be a no man's land. So that could have been somebody else's apartment. Because
I thought you were like
bedroom did not go
at
that
one
way.
point in someone else's apartment or in another room I wasn't familiar with.
Maybe.
Doesn't matter. You go through. I mean, it's hard to recognize anything
Yeah.
because everything's on fire.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't make it out of here because like you're
was
going.
close.
I got burned a couple times. If you touch fire, you like stop and you like
Then you got to put it out.
Brush it
Do a
off.
little dance.
Make a little love.
very stressful.
This was
Yeah.
stressful. I suffered from a lot of like. This is where the kind of clunky controls really suffered. Made the game.
Yeah, where it's like as the camera angle changes, it's hard to tell whether or not like. Sometimes when the camera angle changes, like say you're going forward, and the camera's behind you,
Boring.
and then it switches to the front of you. Fuck off!
Oh my
And it switches to the front of you, and you're still pushing forward. Sometimes you'll continue to move in like
Yeah.
that general direction, but other
Yeah.
times
Which is
it'll
pushing you
just
into a
turn you.
flame.
It'll just turn you around.
Yeah.
You know what I
This
mean?
was
And it's
rough.
hard to gauge when it's gonna happen and when it's not, and it's frustrating.
I don't think it's in this game, but
The apartment is already in flames.
in Indigo Prophecy, you can press S to do a quick turnaround, and
Like
it's
in Resident Evil.
yeah, and
Well,
it's
like in a lot
it's
of fucking
so
games.
good. It's because it has even like tankier controls because it's you're not playing with like an analog stick.
Right.
So having the quick turnaround is like
Life saving. Yeah.
so good, and this game
I was
really could have
using-
benefited from that.
using that in Resident Evil 4 constantly.
Yeah, great move.
So I got a little frustrated, but you could argue that in that really high intensity situation, you would not be like perfectly like, oh, I will step over the flames. You
Well,
did
yeah,
it. fuck,
and-
fuck,
I'd
fuck,
argue-
fuck, fuck,
I'd
I
fuck.
don't know
argue
where
that-
you are.
Yeah.
You've never
Yeah.
been here before.
I'd argue
Yeah.
that in like any other scenario, but like I mean, like if it was only in this scenario where like that jankiness existed, but it's
Right.
throughout the entire
It
game.
is,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's not a new thing in this chapter.
I did make it out. I remember when you get back, cause so the propane tank is on his desk.
How did you survive the fire and the flames?
I went into the
No,
kitchen.
no. I think I went to the kitchen and I jumped
Same.
out a window.
You jumped out a window?
Yeah,
What'd you do?
She said if I jump out the window, I'll kill myself.
but there was another window.
Do you ever see that Indiana Jones movie where he gets inside the old fridge?
Yeah, Island of the Crystal Skull or whatever.
I ripped the shelving and all the food out of the fridge and got inside of it.
That's
and
exactly what I
survived the
did as well.
explosion.
That's what I did too.
Really?
Yeah, that's
I
also
thought
what
about
did.
it, but then I was like, that's.
I could interact
She
with
was
it.
like,
I could interact with the fridge, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll interact with the fridge." As I went by, and she ripped it open, and she fucking tore everything out, and fucking
Wow,
got in there,
okay.
closed it.
she was pawing through the items in the fridge like she was Norman Jaden going through invisible file cabinets.
So it explodes, and then how do you get out of there?
Oh, you teleport to the street?
Yeah, you just opened the door of the refrigerator. Suddenly, you're just out on the street.
Yeah, because after the explosion, the fire goes away.
To my memory,
Really?
You're just there. You're
Yeah.
just out on the street.
That's
I don't
kinda
remember
ass.
it
So-
showing you getting out onto the road, but like
So-
you're on the street, and you're like, "I gotta call somebody. I gotta tell someone."
Right, you get the option to call someone, and I had the
Well,
option to call.
I didn't tell how I got there.
How'd you get
You
there?
said you jumped out a window.
Yeah, but like it was interesting because like you go to that one and the one in the kitchen and it's like I'll die, but then I think I found like another one in either like I think maybe it was the one behind his desk, and then she's like maybe this one, and she like goes out onto the ledge and jumps like fucking Max Payne jumps for like down a floor and into another open window, and then that like she doesn't
She
go
bullet
in there.
dodges.
She pretty much shoot dodges, yeah, and she like
Shoot dodge. Sorry,
gets
shoot
us
dodge.
in
My
there,
bad.
and then you teleport to the bottom floor, and then you hear the explosion. She's like, "Oh my god!" and all these people.
Oh
are
my God.
like, "Oh,
Yeah, the street is
oh no,
pretty well populated. People are like, what
Yeah.
the fuck was that?
Should we stand here under the burning building?
Similar
or
to
do
when the
what?"
meth lab exploded on Margaret Street in Plattsburgh.
People just
Yeah, I was
checked it
trying
out.
to get home from work, and that was frustrating because I didn't realize it had happened, and like there's just 100 fucking people on the side of the road.
Sucks for you too, because you probably wanted to score some meth when you got back.
It was my like dealer's meth
your
lab.
meth.
It was the source, so I haven't been able to find meth since. If
Every
anybody,
time, goddamn.
get a hold of the Hidden Machine, Galgamesh
That's-
at hiddenmachine.yahoo.org.
Great. Can't wait.
Or Jordan Hill at rocketmail.com.
Rock and roll, yes.
Rocket fish.
So I gotta call somebody. I got the option to call either Ethan Mars, who I've had an intimate relationship
has
with,
busted at
a
least
man who
one
I would
nut.
like to be with after this all
Yeah,
clears
it's just
up.
that
I'm in love with him.
I think I'm falling in love with
He's
him.
busted a nut in her. At least in my gameplay.
Probably.
You don't know that.
Do you think you could have come?
They never show. They never show
They
like
never show the finishing shot.
any penetration or thrusting or
No,
anything.
and
Really,
they don't.
they're just
They
like
don't even show like a moment like in movies where like like it's like simulated sex in the movie, and then suddenly
Yeah.
they're just like,
yeah. There's just like a pot of coffee filling up or something.
they just like put them against a wall, and then they just thrust like
This
6
sex
times,
scene
and then
was
they
like
go.
you took your sister's Barbie and Ken doll and just slapped them together.
I mean, for me, it was more just like they were
It was
just
like,
like
the sex scene from Team America.
they're just making out with her shirt off. Is really all that
Yeah,
happened.
that's pretty much the.
They lost the pants at one point.
You can't really tell.
I could tell.
It becomes kind of clear only because you can like see
When you
hips.
wake up, she's in her underwear.
Girls usually put their underwear back on after, so it doesn't seep out.
Jesus Christ. Let's continue onward.
Yeah, all I'm saying is,
True.
I don't think it's. I guess that could be true of your experience.
Every single one.
All 2.
1,000.
Wilt Chamberlain over here.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it's not. I can't. I would not say conclusively that they fucked.
It seemed like they probably had sex.
Seems like it, but there was never a scene where it was like.
You didn't have to like press
Like,
up
it wasn't-
and
you didn't
around
see, like-
to get your
like-
penis out.
There
Balls
even,
on ass.
even just like humping under a blanket or something. There was
See,
never a
they coulda-
scene where
coulda
they
all
were
been dry
both
humping.
not
So you
in
think
some
they
sort
were
of
stripping?
clothing.
They were making out passionately, falling to the floor and stripping
we're
one another, and then they're
sitting
like,
on
all right,
this.
let's go to bed. They just stopped there. They would have had blue genitals.
I don't know. I mean,
He said, "Hey, baby,
I know that you are.
I got 18 other good ribs."
So I know that you're
Matt's
the-
making an ad hominem.
Is a cum hound over
you
here?
just come on.
You
Yes.
fuck way more historically than I do, or have.
I'm just saying it's not uncommon for somebody to maybe be like, you know what, maybe not the right time.
Not for Jordan.
You know what I mean?
What?
Especially in a very like
do you mean?
Jordan gets really mad.
unsure emotional situation.
Jordan's told me that multiple times where he's like, well, you know.
What?
No.
Where he wanted to fuck you and then you said no and then
No,
he got
where,
mad?
where other people did. And then he took matters into his own hands. Let's keep going.
Don't say that about me.
You told people to send crystal meth to our kind of email.
That's none of our emails.
Yeah, also, you can't send crystal meth to an email.
Try.
Be a hard time. You'd have
Please try.
have-
In fact, I invite you to send it to me, mhall12901@gmail.com.
Please, that's
Please
so
try to
weird.
send crystal meth to my email.
You're gonna be unhappy when you get a package at your front door. And
That's not his email.
And then
It wouldn't have been emailed to him.
you could find your address, Matt. This is
Yeah, and then he'd regular mail it to him.
Someone mails me meth. What? Okay.
911.
deal
Good
with
waste
it.
of money.
You're gonna deal with it.
There'd be no dealing.
You'd have to throw it away.
I'm not gonna
or
start
call the
dealing
cops.
meth.
You gotta. What else are you gonna do with it?
Throw it away.
Throw it away.
Give it to the
Flush
cops.
it down the
I'm
toilet.
gonna give it to the cops.
What are they going to do? Sell it?
Cops need meth too.
Yeah, they got to
No, they
sell
don't.
meth.
All right.
So anyway, I'm just saying, Ethan's a man who I know very well. I've been in touch with for
Yeah.
days. I know what he's doing. I know his whole thing. Makes sense for me to call him. Or I got the option to call Norman Jayden, who, to my memory, has never once interacted with Madison.
We were talking about this the other day, and I assumed because you had the option to call him that you must have.
Yeah.
You must have at some point been in the police station or something happened, but I don't think you do. I don't have a memory of ever interacting,
Yeah.
those two characters interacting.
The closest connection is Norman Jayden did speak to Ethan when they questioned him. And if you fucked up and got captured, Norman Jayden would have helped Ethan out.
Yeah.
But we didn't encounter that scenario.
Do you think just as a reporter, she knows that he's the agent on the case?
Why?
I don't
would
know.
she know that?
I don't know.
You know, she's a journalist.
Yeah.
But seems like she's an investigative journalist, and like, why would an investigative journalist know that there was an FBI profiler and like
And have his like personal phone number?
because like even when they're at the press conference, they mention like we heard there was an FBI profiler. Like, oh, we were gonna hold off on mentioning that we have an FBI profiler, but it's true, we do. He's working on the case. They don't give any details. They don't say who he is. It's not common to be like, yes, this is agent such and such. You know, I mean, sometimes there are press conferences where certain law enforcement figures are getting off on it, and they do make themselves part of the spectacle.
Yeah.
But that wasn't that was like not the situation.
Yeah.
Like decidedly so.
Yeah.
So I don't
Did you
know.
look up- I meant to look this up.
I didn't look it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm done looking anything up.
So who did you decide to call?
Ethan, because I know him.
Did what he say? Did he answer?
He goes, I go, hello? He goes, Ethan? Yeah. This is another situation where I'll play the
Didn't
clip.
sound-
It does not sound anything like Ethan on the phone.
Another bullshit one?
Yeah, and he was basically like, I know, I'm already there.
It's Madison. I know where Sean is. He's at 852 Theodore Roosevelt Road. He's still alive. You can still save him.
I'm on my way.
She's like, okay, I'll be there soon.
Okay, bye.
I called Norman Jayden and I had the same experience, where I called him and I was like, "Hello, Detective Jayden. I'm Madison Page. I'm a journalist. I'm calling you because I know the true identity and location of the Origami killer." And he was like, "Yeah, so do I. I'm on my way there right now." And fucking just hangs up on you.
Why would he
And
say
you're
that?
like, "Okay." Like you
Stupid
get the
bitch, I
same
already know.
exact. Like
I liked what this does in the game. It acts as a one last chance to help send someone to Sean. Because
Yeah.
if you fucked up with Ethan, picked the wrong address, you could still have Madison and or Jayden show up. You know?
Yeah.
It's not down to only Sean,
down to Ethan.
only Ethan, thank you, to save Sean. Anybody in the game
Jason?
could have saved Sean
Jason!
except for Scott Shelby, who actually wanted to kill him.
he Scott Shelby could have saved Sean at any moment.
He could have just not done any of that.
Yeah. Or he could have stopped. He
was
could have
gonna-
changed his mind.
I was gonna call Norman because I was like,
Norm,
I just felt like Norm.
my man.
I just felt like then he could like maybe call the
Norman.
cops after and like I don't know, it'd be like a better facilitating thing. But I was like, no, I need to call Ethan. Let him.
That's-
know.
man,
that's- I had the
Jayden.
same thought, and I decided to call him because I knew that Norman knew it was somebody else. It hadn't revealed to me that Norman knew it was Scott Shelby. It was like, I know who it is, but it wasn't like, it's Scott Shelby. You know
Like,
what I
yeah,
mean?
Norman's in better shape than Ethan.
Because I
At
think
the very
that all
least.
Norman knows is, oh, it's a cop who lives here who has this warehouse. Like he's
Yeah.
not like Scott Shelby.
Yeah, the guy I know, who I'm aware of, the
Yeah.
PI who's been working on this case. Like,
Right.
He has no fucking
So I called
context.
Ethan, and he did not answer.
Weird.
And Madison only has time for one phone call, so she speeds off. And I was like, "What?"
Having a cell phone, I would have been like, all right, well, I'm gonna get on my bike and call the other guy now because
Mm-hmm.
I can because that's what this is for. Device that I have.
Oh, my one daily call is used up now.
Oh, I
guess.
should put on, yeah, it's like,
She throws her
Oh,
phone
she
down.
probably has
there.
a
Throw-
track phone. She's out of minutes.
throw caution to the wind. Like, you don't have to worry about safety in that moment, you know? I don't know.
No, and she doesn't worry about safety. Well, I don't know if you got this scene too, but chapter 50, the final chapter, the old warehouse. Ethan arrives at the warehouse for me. He finds Sean.
Sean!
I get like a big
Rebar.
oh, is it rebar? It
Is
just
it a
seemed
rod?
it just seemed like a yeah.
It was rebar.
That's what happened for you guys?
Yeah, I found a big rod. I went to
You got
go
a big rod?
I went to go open up the hatch, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
There's like a
prison.
weird like grate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I'm doing that, I get interrupted by Scott Shelby. And he gives me the monologue about how Ethan Mars.
Clap. 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 He clapped his cheeks.
Gotta make that ass clap.
And he
Yeah.
said, do you know how long
He was clapping, but he
I've-
wasn't moving his hands.
I've waited for years to find a father who is worthy?
I have waited 4 years.
And you finally. And you're like, what? I did all your shit. Let me save my son. He was like, he's right there, brother, man.
He also reveals to you that he picked you because he was there
Right.
the day that Jason got hit by the car.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he? He's like in the background.
Yeah, he's just
Literally.
outside. He's literally just
You didn't
outside
get
the
that?
mall.
Do you get
like,
a flashback where it shows?
They
that
go.
he
He
was
goes.
there?
He goes.
No.
He basically says like,
This is a clusterfuck. What happened to me?
he goes, I had given up on ever finding someone a father worthy, but then I remembered you, and it goes back to the day, and you see the shot of Ethan getting hit by the car with Jason, and the camera pans up, and Scott Shelby's just like, oh man, look at that shit.
I'll make their lives a lot worse.
So he was
later.
handpicked.
yeah, because mine went like similar to yours, but I didn't get the opportunity to like go for the rebar. Maybe I did, but I didn't go for it beforehand. You know what I mean? I just ran up to the thing and I was like, Sean, and started shaking it violently. And then Scott Shelby like stuck up behind me and was like, Ethan Mars.
But eventually he was like, well, go ahead and save your son.
Yeah.
You did it, Golden Boy. And then as soon as I bend over to do it, he pulls a gun and he's getting ready to kill me. Meaning he never wanted me to save him in the first place, did he? He wants to continue his sick delusions. And that's why I kind of worry that, you know, what you're saying, this is what you were getting at. I don't think there is a good part of him because like
No.
he had the choice to go like, oh, in my weird, sick, perverted version of justice, like you did all the things correctly.
Well, it's like even he says where it's like, I think Ethan says something along the lines of like, can you even imagine like the pain that you've put these people through and like the families and stuff like that? Or like the kids. And like Scott Shelby's response is effectively like, it's nothing compared to the pain of a son who can't rely on his father. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, I think it's worse. I think it's at least on the same
There's
level.
room for debate there.
If not, I think it's at
Yeah.
least.
He was
I think they're
very
at least on
selfish.
par.
He was so selfish.
I don't
and then he
think
was
that
still
your
like,
trauma is like way.
Yeah.
He's still like,
murdering
I'm going to
people.
kill both of them anyway.
Yeah.
Like he never had any intention of letting you
No.
win, and like he could have just let you go. But
Yeah.
Okay, I lost a lot of this.
So, well, then what happens is when I'm about to get shot from behind, Norman Jaden fucking like spears him.
Yeah,
What?
like
From
football
the
tackles
side.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
No, he has a fucking.
you know.
He has a.
Yeah, I was like, you piped
fucking-
him? What the fuck?
No, he does like a running like body bash.
You go, ah.
No, he's like,
Uh-huh.
and then it's very similar to when Ethan was doing the very funny running when he was like after he lost Sean.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And he
yeah.
was doing the like the
The running man.
they go running after each other out of the building, like up some stairs, and like
Yeah.
you see Norman Jay and like I gotta chase him, and
like-
it looks like they sped up the animation too fast or something. I'll put the clip in here.
Like an old movie.
Well, because I mean, it's like you
Yeah.
think he'd be a lot faster than Scott Shelby. You know what I mean? Like,
No, Scott Shelby like is like I'm going to the roof now or something. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't. It's not explained.
no, they just kind of run away, and then you, as Ethan, get to fucking save little Shawnee Boy.
Right.
the
So
little baby boy.
this
You saved
cuts
Christmas.
away entirely, and then what happened for Jordan and I is a knockdown, drag-out fight between Scott Shelby and Norman Jaden. But what happened when you arrived?
Wow. So that's for both of you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll pick up. I want to pick that up after, but
All right, so working back up to that point. So for me, as you recall earlier, I had a choice between 3 different places. I was going to choose one, decided to choose a second one. I chose the right place. I fucking chose the right place. I got an achievement for it too. It was something like Golden Father or some shit, and I was like, oh! I was like, yes! I never guess anything right, and I wouldn't have guessed it right if I hadn't.
If you hadn't
done the
fucked
other
it up,
thing.
really.
Yeah. So Ethan gets there, and he goes, Sean, Sean, and eventually you find him. You know, oh my god.
it's right in front of you.
Yeah, he's right. He's like,
Then he's been right
Like
there.
where could he be?
It's like it's the only grate in here.
There's
You
like
just
kind
walk
of a light
forward.
on it. Like it's
Yeah.
like the lightest part of the room.
You fucking like trip over it and you're like, oh shit.
You fall in. So now it's like, oh no! Now we're both stuck, my boy.
you slip through the grate.
Fuck.
Your wispy body.
Scott Shelby shows up and he's just like, oh Jesus, come on, Ethan. But no, I was exhilarated. Exhilarated? Yeah.
Yeah, you rock hard.
I don't think I went to go interact with him or anything. I immediately picked up that bar, and it was a really hard little thing that I had to do to break the lock on it. I lifted the thing up and I yanked Sean out of there, threw him down. He's dead. He's absolutely dead. You pound on his chest. You kiss him a couple times. Don't know why he did that. And then eventually he starts mourning him. He's like, he's fucking dead. I missed it. I lost. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, this is kind of heavy. Like, it's his dead son.
Heavy rain.
But at the last
Heavy
moment,
rain.
fortunately, right when all seemed lost, he goes, and he's willed back to life by Ethan's tears, just like at the end of 2001 Pokemon movie when Ash dies. After he fell like 15 stories and onto his head, and then they just cry him back to life. But then they have this really nice. So this didn't happen to you guys? You didn't have a back and forth with Sean or anything?
I
No,
did. I
yeah.
did.
But there was other.
Okay. So in this moment right
But
here,
they cut away first.
oh, okay. So Ethan, and it's just Ethan and Sean at this point. And he says, "I knew you'd come." Ethan's as if nothing's happened to him. He said, I knew you'd come to save me, Dad." Like he just got off the bus.
Or Sean,
Like,
yeah.
What did I say? Did
I said Ethan. You guys both keep.
All white men are Ethan to
You
me.
fuckers.
And he's like, I'm here to save you. And then he looked at his watch of the countdown timer for the poison. He says, "Sean, I just want you to know, I love you so much.
Yes.
I love you so much."
I have in my notes, like, no matter what happens, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I love you. And we talked about
Sean-
this as well.
Yeah, about the
Off
fact
camera.
that he's like,
Yeah.
It goes 10, 9. It counts down to 0, and it's
Instantly.
like 3, 2, 1. Hey, I'm not dead.
yeah. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm
fine."
still breathing." Like he could then immediately after he says that go,
Instantly, yeah.
you know what I mean, and like fucking bleed out of
Myriad
every orifice.
of variables going
Yeah,
to
There's-
or it could take another 5 minutes or a minute.
metabolism, your body size. Yeah.
This is bad writing, but it also like makes Ethan seem so fucking stupid.
The whole game makes him seem kind of stupid.
Right, and they never explain why he's blacking out and why he has origami figures in his hand when he blacks out.
Oh, you're right. They never figure that out. Yeah.
But we'll talk about more plot holes. But
there's a lot of.
I'm sorry. What? No, any poison you drink would cause organ failure. It would
Yeah.
be. It wouldn't be. You feel totally normal and then drop dead
Suddenly.
on the second.
Yeah.
You'd feel your body start to break down and be like, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, something's happening," and then you.
It is like probably one of the worst written parts of the game for me. Not in terms of like taste, because there's like some stuff that's like very crude or
Unnecessary, gratuitous.
Yeah, but I mean just in terms of like just dumbass shit.
Yeah.
But
that poison thing was
kind of takes the cake.
Yeah.
Hands down, because the whole thing, like you said, the whole thing doesn't make any sense.
And it ruins the emotional impact of him like reuniting with his son.
Because he's just like, "Oh thank God, I'm alive too.
I'm not
I'm
dead
alive
also."
too."
I kind of expected it to be like, oh no, and then like it was gonna start right after he said that.
Yeah.
I was expecting that the first
Same.
time.
So right after they have that heartwarming moment, Madison Page.
Martison Parge.
Madison Parge.
Martin
Who
Parge.
but Madison Page
Who's
shows
but?
up. And she's like, "Ethan, Sean." He's like, "Oh my God." And they have this like loving embrace until you hear, "Not so fast."
Really?
And Scott Shelby comes in. He's packing fire heat. And this is very brief. They were just like, "Why did you do it?" And he's like, "You would never understand." He says the same thing. And
So you already have Sean at this point?
yeah. And he's like, "Why would you just let us go?" He's like, "I solved your thing." And he's like, "Well, your buddy over there, I would, but your buddy over there knows my little secret now, so you all gonna die." And I'm shattering my heart. I'm like, "Scott Shelby, why?" And it gets a little blurry here. Ethan, he blasts him. He blasts Ethan right in the gut. He gets it right in the gut.
He's shot. Are you saying Ethan?
Scott
what?
Shelby blasts Ethan in the gut. He shoots him in the gut, like in the lower
With a gun.
With a
He's a rock hard member.
yeah. And Ethan goes down instantly. I'm assuming he's dead. Spoiler alert, he doesn't die somehow. That's a very horrible place to get shot, but he's all right. And then it's a big battle between Madison and Scott Shelby. They since for me, Norman didn't figure it out. He's not there. So they race each other.
Norman's just still like fucking railing Tripto in the office
Yeah.
and fucking flipping
I gotta
files
figure it
everywhere.
out. He does it for 20
Just
hours
bleeding
straight.
out of his
Just crying.
nostrils.
Blake's just watching him through the crack in the door. What a freak.
And this is, and so for me, it's Scott Shelby chasing Madison, who I think used that same rebar or whatever to. She did some damage to Scott, and then they pursued each other, and I think There was so much time that Scott could have easily just shot her, but he just kind of doesn't.
So when they go up,
he like shrugs and he's like, "All right, I guess I'll chase her instead of shooting her and killing her right here."
when they go up to the roof, for me, like there was a giant suspended conveyor belt full of every type of garbage imaginable being fed into another one of the crushers.
Yeah, one of like
Did
the
not
two
see
big
that
giant-
at all.
No, because
No.
also for me, was Blake there for you guys?
Well, I'll get into
Okay,
that.
all right.
Okay, so because there's so many different avenues. So how did your battle with him go?
So there's a lot of back and forth.
Right. But you didn't get on the conveyor belt?
I don't believe so. I don't
You'd remember because you're like throwing trash at each other up and down.
Yeah, and
at,
basically you almost get put into the crusher.
No,
That's
there's
how
a
it
lot of
ends.
climbing. We're going higher and higher.
Right.
Somehow it appears that we're on like some sort of like pier. We're like it's like shipping
You're on the
containers
docks.
and stuff. Yeah. But like we started this venture at the beginning on some sort of like at the top of a warehouse.
I remember this. Yep. This is how it happened the first time for me.
And there's a ton of back and forth. At one point, Madison hides in she jumps inside of this. It looks like a telephone booth, but it's like a control center for some sort of machinery. And it's really intense. Scott loses his gun at some point. I think maybe she kicks it out of his hand, and it stays down where Ethan is. And Scott picks up more spikes, which I'm assuming is rebar. And he's you have to dodge as he's plunging it into this little cabinet thing that you're in because she locked herself in. You literally have to dodge out of the way like fucking Spider-Man. And it was really intense. I really feel like if I messed up any of those, she probably would have just died. It's Madison versus Scott Shelby. Until eventually, it seems like all hope is lost, and he's about to plunge right into her soul. Who but Ethan Mars shows up with that gun, and he blasts him. And I think there's an additional scuffle, but eventually they're out on this this kind of narrow passage, like on top of this like vehicle. When there's just like water, it's like probably like 5 stories down, and eventually I think Ethan blasts him a couple more times. Maybe he says a witty line, and Scott Shelby just falls into the water.
goddamn.
Saving the day.
And is that the end for you basically?
For the combat, yeah.
And then
and then you get the ending moments, but I think that was the end of the quote unquote gameplay.
okay, because mine went so different.
Really?
Yeah.
And probably
Did you get-
more similar to yours.
Did you
I'd
guys
imagine, yeah.
Did you guys nail all the QTEs, or do you think it was affected by messing some of them up?
I think
I
it's 'cause
nailed
we had
all
a
the
different
combat stuff.
outcome
We just had
entirely.
different outcomes.
So
yeah.
like, Jaden and Shelby go up, high.
Yeah.
And this conveyor belt of garbage that is suspended really high in the
it's
air.
ridiculous. I mean, like
It's like 15 stories up.
if you've ever driven, like, you can see them in like central New York. There's like certain super industrial areas where like you see the scale that like Matt's referring to, but it's like
Maybe-
it is absolutely wild.
Maybe this
how
is
high
the
up you
same
are.
thing that I experienced, but I don't
It's
remember
not
any garbage.
It's not because I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Because
okay,
that's
'cause
how
I'm
it
like, I
went
don't
for me the
remember-
first time.
don't
You
remember
are
any
on a
garbage.
dock either
Yeah.
way. Like you're on a pier.
Yeah, you're on the docks, but like also, I couldn't quite understand the point of having this contraption. Like,
Yeah.
it was an endless stream of literally every type of garbage you could imagine,
Yeah,
from just
'cause-
like paper and bits to like a full television or like a chair or
There's a point where
lamp.
like he picks up like a rebar thing or whatever Scott Shelby does, and you grab like a safe door or something and hold it up like a fucking
block it?
Captain America
Whoa.
shield as Norman Jaden and like hit it away. You know what I mean? It's like fucking.
So like you're going on this like crazy long
It was.
Yeah.
This was a
battle.
long fight. Yeah.
and the whole time like it keeps panning down, and what's happening down below is that Blake believes he has the Origami killer cornered in the warehouse. So he's right outside the warehouse where
Which
Ethan
like
is.
technically he sort of does, but he
okay.
thinks because it's Ethan. You know what I mean? He's like, fucking blast him the moment he comes outside. Shoot him
Right.
in the goddamn head.
So that's happening.
That's an order.
And you're
Murder this man.
You're going back and forth between Madison, Jaden, and Ethan.
Because
throughout all
Madison
this.
has
Holy
showed up.
shit.
Madison has showed up outside on her motorcycle.
Right.
And
So
is like,
I
you
wanna-
can't. It's not. You don't understand.
Yeah.
And Blake's like, fuck off, you bitch.
Right. So like I mean,
I wish I could know. I want to know what happens if you have my playthrough, but then you also have Norman in the picture.
probably
If you get Norman, Madison, and Ethan all to the warehouse.
that's what we did. That's what we did.
oh,
That's
okay.
what we're describing.
Oh, all right. I'm all. There's a lot going on
so
here.
I mean, so it cuts back and forth, but just to wrap up this part, eventually you get to the end of the conveyor belt. Scott Shelby almost falls in. Did you rescue him?
I rescued him.
I rescued
because
him.
I
Is he
was
like-
like,
he's like, hold it
he's
on?
hanging on,
He's
and
like
you're like,
cliffhanger right
he's
now?
like, don't let me. He like says, don't let me die, please don't let me die. And I'm like, oh, there's still that part of me that's
Still-
like, my man.
I was
like,
hoping he would be like, arrest me or something.
Yeah.
No, he tries to throw your ass right in there.
Oh!
So then you wrestle again, and you just throw him in. He just falls in.
Scott
And
Shelby.
you grab like the rebar and like, you kind of like, there's like a little railing, and you kind of like
It's like the little
wedge it.
It's like a little operation like deck. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Up at the top of the conveyor belt, where clearly you can start and stop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's where it ends.
So it's like a little safety rail. You like wedge your
Yeah.
rebar in there and do a little pull-up bar.
It's
thing
like when you
to
see a
rescue
dog
yourself.
try to like come through a door, but he still has a big stick in his mouth. You know what I mean? He just
Yeah.
So it's
fucking
just like
hits.
that, and then
Uh-huh.
and then
So
you
is this machine that's running this grinder thing?
yeah, it's a giant conveyor belt that drops down into a grinder,
Yeah,
like
it's
just like the car grinder.
There's just no roof on like a warehouse, and it's like right into the grinder. And like you look down,
is
you
this
look down in
building?
it, and it is just full of blood.
And what's crazy is that like all this is going on, and it is you're throwing giant pieces of garbage,
Yeah.
and you are directly above Blake and Company, and they have no idea you're up
He has
there.
no concept. They have
They're
no concept that either of
completely
you are there.
oblivious.
Like, is it stupid that they can't see?
Yeah,
you?
because like
Kind of.
in the scene, it's like you can see the lights flashing underneath you, like lighting the underneath of it. You know what I mean? And you can see the tops of the police cars when it like does like the top down view.
Yeah, and you're being loud as hell and throwing stuff.
Yeah, like throwing, like you said, entire TVs, safe doors,
Wow.
rebar. You know what I mean? Like fucking,
Like if
like a washing machine fell. If a washing machine
You two
fell,
up there, shut up!
like
There's a
even if-
killer in here.
Say it was 100 yards away from you, and a washing machine hit the ground.
Oh my God.
You would know it happened.
yeah, so that was weird. But basically, what happens for Jaden is he pushes him in, and he crawls on. And he goes, oh, and he just falls on his back and breathes a sigh of relief. But
He
Madison,
puts on Airy.
she's going.
Rails some more Triptone, starts throwing the ball on the wall.
Yeah. So Madison pulls up to the scene, and she's like, she goes to Blake. She goes, look, you can't like. I have evidence that he's not the killer. And they're like, fuck off, idiot.
Yeah, like you dumb idiot. Who let the fucking reporters in here? Who let the media in here?
We don't want
And so
information.
what she does is she runs back to her bike, and then she does this crazy move where she circles everybody like
Yeah.
You get shot. Is if you did that.
No,
right?
it's because the reality is, it's like
yeah, it's shocking because
Yeah.
they're all ready, and she basically like, I don't even know how to put this. It's like you know
She
when like a
distracts them?
dog is like herding sheep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She like does this crazy move and like gets like right up on them and like almost hits them with her bike and skirts all the way up in front of them to
Yeah.
get to the warehouse door so she can go in there and be with
I
Ethan.
even though
cannot
like
even-
frankly from the view that like you have, it seems like she has a pretty. She could have kind of just done like one of these and made it
Like a
right to the
snake
front
move?
door.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Like not
It
even
was-
a
it
snake
was-
move. Like
it
she
was
just would have kind
baffling.
of had to turn a couple times to
Okay.
like avoid a couple cars.
The
I
move she
cannot
does
visualize
is
what you guys are
baffling.
talking about.
Instead, it's like, you know when like a dog comes running into a room because it's got the zoomies?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to do a circle around the coffee table, then I'm going to go behind the couch, then I'm coming back into
That
here, and
sort
then
of
I'm going to
thing.
hop over the coffee table. And you're like, it was all just to get to like the other side of the room. Or like onto the couch.
They didn't shoot her? Crazy. They
No,
didn't even
in
take
fact-
a shot.
in
and
fact,
they were
like-
just like, what? Ugh.
In fact,
blasted
when she
her.
goes inside, he's like, everybody lower, you can't, everybody, weapons cold, you know what I mean? He's like, you can't shoot him anymore. We got to wait, we got to hold
got-
down.
Man,
Like,
Madison.
for whatever reason. Like
So-
you said, it's America. You just shoot her too.
Yeah.
Feel like
Right,
you're
especially 'cause
interfering.
She's driving a motorcycle into a cop.
Yeah.
In the middle of like a hostage scenario with a
All-
serial killer. You're
all
like,
of
I'm going to
those-
kill you too. You're both going to, everybody's going to die here today.
All of those officers would have shot her at the same time.
So what happens is, you know, she's down there with Ethan.
Sorry, they would have been justified. She was interfering with an ongoing criminal like investigation. You know, like against disobeying the orders. She would have been murdered.
So here's what I have in my notes. She goes into the warehouse with Sean. He says that he'll go out and talk to them. She says, no, if you go out there, they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
They're told to shoot on sight. And then they're like, well, let's go out together. I think she's the one that's like, well, we'll go out together.
yeah,
Are you
like we'll
still
all go
playing?
out together as
Are
a
you still
family.
controlling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
At this point, I don't think there's any QTEs.
no, maybe not actually.
Once Madison gets inside, I think the last of the QTEs are you
yeah,
killing
you
like
and Norman.
Shelby and fucking that's Norman like killing
So-
Shelby.
So when you grind him up, when you grind Scott Shelby up, you just see like a bunch of disgusting blood come
You
out
just
of
see
it?
it. No, you just see a bunch of blood on the blades of the grinder as it's spinning.
okay.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's it.
What
So
a way to go.
So they're like, no, you can't go out there. They think you're the killer. They're going to shoot you as soon as you walk out there. let's go out there.
Yeah.
The writing here, it makes no sense.
They can't shoot me if I'm holding my son. You're like, yeah, they can. Unless you're holding him like this, you know what I mean? Like, unless like he's like fucking straddling your face.
And so they just, all three of them walk out together. The three of them walk out together, and it just ends.
Yep.
No explanation.
Nope.
That sucks. I'm glad I got my ending.
I feel like there's not a satisfying ending to this game because there are so many plot holes and there's so much stuff where it's like there's no way you could, in a satisfying way, like wrap up. Like you said, it's like it never elaborates. The blackouts just stop for Ethan.
Blackouts just stop.
3 more days.
The origami figures are never explained.
It doesn't fill you in on why he has them or what's going on. Like, is he visiting the old woman in his sleep? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, why? What's happening? Is he finding? Like, I don't understand. It never explains it. And there's I don't know. There's just shit that just
You just didn't play it right.
It's
dude.
also
just
a little
fucking
frustrating
didn't play
that like what I would have done in the Mildred scene or Milford, whatever his fucking name is.
Manfred.
Yeah. Scott Shelby goes,
Milfred.
I'm gonna run in the back and check on him. He's taking a little while. Switch perspective. Now you're Lauren.
Yeah. Instead, you're Scott Shelby who walks back there and finds him dead.
Because
yeah.
you do watch Scott find him dead.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what you're saying?
You literally walk in and seamlessly find him dead.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's like,
And don't you look up at the window and don't you see like a figure
It looks
Yeah.
like something's,
escaping? Yeah.
I mean, well, no. I mean, it's kind of like just a breeze.
I
you
thought
know?
Oh, yeah, it's probably
I
like the
saw
blinds
like
or something or the-
what looked like the guy that was talking.
I think it's supposed to
Paco.
like suggest. You know
Alright.
what I mean? That there's
Right,
something.
but here's the thing. It's like what it's suggesting is that even though you are this like third person,
omniscient outsider.
your perspective in the whole game is like this mix of first and third person because you're able to hear the internal thoughts of the characters, but also you're seeing them third person, and you're seeing it all in real time. Except there's suddenly a time skip.
And it's just a way for it to like cleverly make sense that he got killed.
Yeah, and it's just like there was nothing to indicate that lost
And
time.
there wasn't really any necessity to kill him because it's like I get that it's maybe like
It's tying up every single loose end.
I get that, but he's also like I feel like had they not gone there and talked to him, you know what I mean? Like Lauren's the only one who knew about the letter, who had said anything about the letter, you know what I mean? And she's the only one and he brought up the fact that the letters were weird.
Right.
He's the one who brought it to him to bring it to his attention. You know what I mean? To find out if he... But then he was like...
He would have brought out the record book.
Yeah.
Lauren would have like, let me see it. They would have found the name.
Yeah.
And
so
the only reason that you found it is because after, like, Lauren goes back there and takes the record books.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
true.
like, don't do that. Why are you, like, don't stop. You need to leave.
I'll have
Yeah.
to kill you too. Don't
And
do
she's
that.
like, no, I need to grab this. This is important. So
That's
it's like
true.
he was trying to make sure nobody ever even
Made
got
any
close
sort of
to it.
connection. Even though it's like the way that he kind of puts it, it's like he was the only one that could work on that typewriter and everybody has that typewriter. Was kind of the way that Manfred made it seem. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
So it'd kind of be like, Scott Shelby has one of those typewriters. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, yes, I do.
Yep.
I also have a bunch of other old shit. Do you want to see it? You know,
Yeah.
my house looks like it's straight out of the fucking 50s and I live in Europe.
got a
you know
weird
what I mean?
door.
Like,
You
yeah.
wanna see it?
Like, I don't know. What do you want to check out? Like my fucking old car? My fucking,
Yeah.
you know. It's like, I don't know. It would have fit into his persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, what the fuck happened to Grace?
Yeah, nobody
fucked
cares.
off. Yeah,
Grace just fucks off.
So
Yep.
you get the final sequence of
Yeah. So
wrapping up
everybody
ends.
gets their own.
Yeah, it's like it's as though she like, other than like accusing Ethan of being the origami killer, she's putting like nothing. She has like no investment in like Sean being missing.
She kind of doesn't seem to help much.
But then not even that. But she doesn't even like. She's not there. When like she's not. She's never there for anything
Yeah.
that happens. She's not part of it. She's not involved. It's weird.
I liked
They just
how
kind of leave
angry
her.
You got when she.
When she accused
went to
Ethan,
the
you dumb
police.
bitch, stupid bitch, stupid ungrateful dumb idiot.
I didn't. And so I watched Scott the Waz's video on Heavy Rain and
Scott the Wazoo.
Scott the Wazoo, not related to Scott Shelby, and that made me understand a little bit more where you were coming from with like why, like like right now like Ethan's acting weird. I don't know what's going on with him. It's like his son died and now
In his
another one's
arms.
missing.
His son died in his arms,
Yeah.
then he was in a coma
But
for 6 months.
The thing that she was concerned about with the police was the fact that he was
Coming home late.
coming home late,
Drenched.
talking about drowning, freaking out, and then the next day, another kid was found like missing
yeah.
to be drowned.
And
it was that direct connection that bothered her,
they-
not just my husband's being kind of weird.
they never elaborate on any of it. They don't give you any more
Right.
information
Like,
or perspective on any of it.
Because like you get why Scott Shelby is obsessed with drowning people.
Yeah.
Because it's linked directly to a childhood trauma.
Yeah.
They never explore that with Ethan. Why would
Where's
Ethan be
Ethan's
like
coming from?
obsessed with drowning?
Yeah, there's no reason. There's literally no reason.
The only thing I could think of is somehow Scott Shelby is monitoring him, and when Ethan has his blackouts, he puts the origamis on him or something.
Yeah, he's just framing
else
him.
would
Because
make
he's been
sense?
following him the whole time.
Ethan
you
has
know?
no other connection
Yeah,
to
but I mean,
Origami.
like, it doesn't
But it doesn't
really-
make any sense.
It seems like it's just happenstance that he's at the mall. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
when,
but it seems like from that moment,
oh,
he was
that
like
he followed
trailing
after
him
that.
from
Yeah,
that
that's
moment.
true because the blackouts didn't start. But I mean, the whole blackout thing and Ethan being the killer never really lined up anyways, because they were like these murders have been going on for years, and he's like, my blackout started a couple months ago. And you're like, okay, so
It's not you.
it's probably not you. Like maybe you killed the last one, but like you're not the origami killer then.
No,
you know
and
what I
they
mean?
did bring up the idea of copycat killers.
Yeah, like you could be a copycat killer, maybe Ethan. Maybe you killed one or two of them right now in these 2 months, but
Like fucking Gordy there.
but otherwise.
You're
No,
not
it
the
doesn't
one.
line up. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of
So let's talk post game. My first scene was it goes to a news report, a very awkward news report, basically saying Sean is safe, Ethan's a hero, Scott Shelby died, and the reporter cannot look at the camera. Do you notice this? His eyes are going everywhere.
yeah. Is he supposed to be like pretending to read a teleprompter, but he's just like
It doesn't. If the teleprompter was like the size of a room, it made no sense.
just a projector on the wall behind him.
God,
He's
we
like,
gotta make this
oh
smaller."
Jesus Christ! I have to.
Did you
see that
guys
stop?
Did you guys get that basically?
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
okay, so the next thing is Ethan, Madison, and Sean are in a giant concrete studio apartment.
Yeah.
Did you get this?
Yeah, another like, I wouldn't really want to live there. I don't know what the obsession is with studio apartments, but like it does. This place doesn't look
It
appealing.
looks awful.
Yeah.
It's a giant room with enormous pillars
It
in
has a
it.
bunch
It looks
of
like
pillars
it looks like
and
an old
brick
like a
walls.
repurposed warehouse.
It does, yeah.
It's like I get that that's a people got to live. You know what I mean? I'm
Sean-
not trying to.
Sean peeks out from behind a column and's like, "I think I found my room." And it's like, it looks like one room.
Yeah,
it
I was
does
like,
look
where
like
is there
one.
more off to the side?
Like
you know
maybe
what I mean?
there
Like,
is, and I didn't see it.
Also,
but-
he's
but it
very
never-
chipper. He's just running around.
He's doing really well.
right.
and he was so depressed the entire thing until he got captured. So it's
No,
like,
he finally learned the value of life.
He's got a lustful life.
I wouldn't feel comfortable having my little kid like running around in circles. If he falls, he's gonna crack his fucking head open in a place like this.
I'd be
Oh,
super protective of my kid at this point. And he's just not. And it's also like kind of moving, like I don't know what the timeline is here, but like moving real quick with Madison, you know what I mean? John seems stoked with Madison, even though, you know what I mean, she's just some woman now.
yeah.
right, and
Daddy,
he
how
said
did you
something
meet
like,
Madison? Well,
While you
she
were
was trying
drowning,
to profit off of your potential death.
"I hope she still writes a book."
and then I dumped a load in her, allegedly, potentially, while you were almost drowning.
Why?
You wouldn't get it. You're not old enough.
You don't understand.
I felt like someone was controlling me. I don't know.
I kept pissing.
So
Every time.
he said something along the lines of like, let's just say a friend let me jump in line and now I got this place for us. And it's like, how do you even have any fucking money, dude?
Yeah.
Like
What's left
you haven't
hasn't worked.
you seem like you haven't worked in a year.
Yeah.
No, like at least. Like you were in a coma for 6 months, can't work. You know what I mean?
You weren't really working before that. You were like,
No.
I hope I can get this project done in time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you didn't.
No, and like that's clear because you see the fucking like dust covered, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
blueprints, and it's like clearly you do nothing during this whole time.
And like if you had any sort of wealth,
Mm-hmm.
you know, left over from your work, you probably wouldn't live in the depressing shithole apartment.
Yeah.
You'd
And,
probably
like,
live somewhere a little nicer.
Yeah,
they're getting,
maybe.
it's-
You know?
Did I mention? Did they get divorced officially? I know they split. Him and Grace.
They don't talk about it.
Yeah, they don't go into.
They never mentioned that.
Because like that can be.
That'd be a
expensive.
really specific detail given all the other things they don't give any detail into.
What, get married and divorced?
Yeah, like if they're like, well, they're legally separated right now, but the divorce proceedings haven't gone all the way.
maybe.
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
they could've
Like,
said, yeah, it's got
And they don't
divorced
even
or
say,
something.
you know, I mean, last time you see them together, they're separated, it seems, but they're still like sharing an emotional bond.
Yeah.
over their
Well-
missing son.
They never
So,
split up that entire time.
They all live happily ever after. The next scene
Yeah.
I got was Jaden is on a talk show called Let's Talk Tonight.
Yeah, and it's like a very British looking, but like 60s style talk show. Like the backdrop is like very orange and like it's weird.
They're like, and the host is like, yeah, and the logo for this show is like terrible script, and it's just like a grid behind
Yeah.
it. It looks like shit. And they're like,
Almost like maybe it's in Airy.
it looks like it could be. I don't know if it is, but
No,
they're-
it seems real.
But they're basically like the amazing star FBI agent who almost single-handedly captured the Origami killer and figured out the case. It's Norman Jaden.
And he's like, "Thank you, good to be here."
Hello.
Hello.
To my memory, he just goes,
Okay.
Yeah, he just kind of.
and then it cuts. Smash cut to Norman Jaden sitting in a bathroom stall with no door on it.
Pants down around his ankles.
No.
What?
No.
Pants fully up, sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
This is real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bathroom stall, no door, sitting on the toilet.
Just like,
I would never sit on a public toilet with my pants on like
No.
that. I don't even like sitting on a public toilet without my pants on.
I put the toilet paper down.
Put the toilet paper down. I don't even. To be honest, I use a public toilet like 5 times a year, maybe.
Anytime I've had to do it on road trips at this point in my life, I usually kind of hover if I have to take a shit.
Yeah.
I hover over it.
I have a friend who
Like,
likes
varies for me.
to.
I usually clean the toilet seat.
You clean it?
Yeah.
How?
So you touch it with your hands?
I mean, no, like paper. Yeah, I rub my hand to clean it off.
You just lick it. And
How do you
then,
clean it? Do you keep like cleaning agents with you?
I usually have hand sanitizer on me, so
That's
I'll
true,
just,
actually.
All right.
If not, like, I don't know. I'm not in a lot of public places that have a bathroom.
I drove
anymore.
Yeah, I
lot,
just
no.
try. I purposely try to avoid public bathrooms, especially after I got my bidet. I don't like pooping without my bidet anymore.
But in our new apartment, I couldn't install it. I know. So here's the toilet.
Oh yeah.
Here's
the
the-
bidet segment.
Here's the sink. It's right here. And the
Damn.
bidet has to sit right here, so there's no room for it. And you can't turn it around.
Can you get like a lefty model or something?
I don't have $130 right now.
You know, we got a fufu. It's cheaper than a tushy.
Yeah?
Recommend it.
Yeah?
Highly recommend it.
I might pick it up then.
It
I'll
was
check
much
out.
cheaper.
Yeah, because if I can get it on the left side,
25.
that sounds fucking
So
great.
good.
It's just got to shoot water on your asshole. You know what I mean? Like how I get a squirt gun. If I had an engineering degree and a squirt gun, I could figure this out.
Andrew has like 20 fucking super soakers.
Give me some ideas.
So
Pull the trigger.
Every time I just keep shitting on it.
I just it's so gross to me to think of just sitting on the public toilet seat. Also, I hate public toilets that don't have when the stall has no door.
That doesn't
When
make
does
any
that
sense to me.
happen?
At 518 at the club on Margaret Street.
How do you?
I've never been
Why?
there.
How do you shit and piss?
I think well,
I think it's
in
to
plain
discourage
view.
shitting and to stop people from like doing drugs together.
Yeah, that's mostly it.
And maybe in like this scenario, if it's like, oh God knows, I mean, like I'm thinking rest stops for some reason, but like to discourage like prostitution.
Yeah, but also in this situation, it seems like he is at the studio for the TV
Yeah,
still.
that's kind of how it seems.
And it's
Well,
like,
what happens? He just looks
imagine
stressed out?
imagine you're like a talk show host. You go to the bathroom. You'd probably want to shit privately.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You think Conan O'Brien's just dropping deuces in front
I'm
of
sure he has a public, private bathroom.
Anyways.
in my notes here,
What does he do?
he basically he's having a tough time. He's debating whether or not he should take Tripto. I chose to flush it down the toilet.
Same.
I think that you have to. I think
Yeah.
that's just the scene.
There's no choices at this point. It just plays out.
Okay.
Like it goes down the toilet. Regardless of what you chose, because I chose to take it once. And I think, did you choose to take it once? Or
No.
You didn't take it at all.
I
Well,
never
you
took
you
it.
have to take it once because you
Well,
get
you
upset
have
because
to,
Blake
yeah.
tells you to fly your files home to Washington.
And you're like, I can't recover from that horrible
Man,
burn.
I'll never.
God, you burned me. I'm doing some Tripto. So he flushes the Tripto and he walks away. Next scene.
Hard cut again.
Slow panning through a very dimly lit office. Clearly, the office of FBI agent Norman Jaden. He's in Airy. He's doing his thing at his desk. Dark room. Looks like, again, another like hacker room, basically.
Yeah.
And this is where I think he's in the
Norman Jaden
forest scene
Yeah.
I believe he's in the forest.
where
again,
you're in
yeah.
like the weird like ruins of a house.
Yeah.
And little tanks start showing up. Little blue tanks that look like the evidence, you know, like they're like the wire mesh kind of thing.
Look to 'em. Assets for a game. They didn't make.
Wireframe, yeah.
Yeah.
Tanks are coming at you.
Like some shitty Tank
and
Wars
you're like,
mobile game.
You're like, oh no.
Heavy Rain Tank Wars.
You take off Eri, and then the tanks show up in real life.
And you're
How
like,
big are they?
size of your hand, maybe.
Yeah,
I'd
about
say
the size of
like
your hand.
maximum size of your hand.
Plus the thing,
Yeah, plus the dick.
the dick of the tank.
Tank dick, yeah.
And Ethan, or I'm sorry, Jaden goes.
Tank dick
They're
is funny.
they're all like ascending on him. Okay,
Yeah.
the tanks are coming like from like down below the desk and over the desk. He goes, oh, cut. End.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Really? There's
Yep.
all of that?
Yep.
Wow.
No resolution.
No, and so I read up on this. Basically, what I read was he stopped doing the trypto, so he's still going to have Eri hallucinations.
Right.
And this is actually a good ending.
Oh, okay.
And it's supposed to... What people have said is they interpret it as him just choosing to deal with the Eri hallucinations, and he's going to get through the withdrawals and get past it, the trypto withdrawals and stuff. But it's like...
That is not the... It
Sounded
had a very
happy.
doom and gloom feel to it.
It seems like he's about to fucking freak. He's literally backing up in fear.
Yeah, like in an office alone, in like a building that it seems like no one else is in. You know what I mean? Like he's the only one in this building, in an office alone, just like backing away from tanks in a corner that aren't real.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like it seems
And
like
then
that's the
just
moment his
cuts.
heart's gonna fucking explode or something. You know? But yeah, that's it. That's all you.
That's a happy
that's
ending
the
for
story
Norman
of
Jaden.
Norman Jaden.
Now we're back at the graveyard.
Uh-huh.
Lauren
Flowers
is in the
for
graveyard.
Algernon.
Did you get this one?
I did get this one.
Yeah.
My Norman one was different, but everything else was the same so far.
It's still heavy raining. Mm-hmm. And we're at Scott Shelby's grave, and she goes, "You killed my son. Were you thinking about that while you held me in your arms? I have nothing but contempt for you." And then she spits on his
Patooey.
grave. And they fade to black on Shelby's grave.
Ooh, I'm so mad at that Scott Shelby. Ooh. I'm steaming at the ears.
And so what was your Jaden scene?
My
Jordan Maiden.
That was Jordan's AOL screen name because he was really into Iron Maiden.
I never
He
liked
resigns.
Iron Maiden. Don't spread that around. No, I'm kidding.
I've tried. I just don't. I don't know.
I never got
I
into
don't
it.
think I like it.
AIM?
Iron Maiden.
Oh,
I was prolific on AIM.
okay. Yeah, I'm not a Maiden.
Upsettingly.
The Trooper's pretty good, and I respect him. Yeah, they're great guys. Man. So Norman resigns. It's just one scene of him at the desk of his superior.
I got this my first time.
Yeah, and he's like, "Here's my badge and my gun and Eri," and he doesn't give over the glove though. I don't remember him giving the glove. And the guy's trying to dissuade him from it. He's like, "Are you sure, man?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm sure. I just don't want to do this anymore." He's like, "Okay, well, do you want to come? Are you thinking about taking a break and maybe coming back?" He's like, "I don't know, maybe, but I need to do something else with my life that isn't so fucked up." Because he feels like a failure because he didn't solve the case. He feels like he had nothing. He spent so much time. He's not cut out for this line of work.
Right.
And the only interesting moment is he goes to hand over Eri last, and he's like, "You know what? We're getting a new production unit, like the new version of Ares coming out soon. You've been a great help to us. That you can just keep that one if you want to." And like he thinks about it for a second, but he does not keep Eri. He turns it in and he just changes his life. But
I feel like
that's
that
it.
feels like the better ending to me.
That sounds great. Like I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't get to pursue his career in the FBI, but it seemed like it was bad for his health.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good ending.
How is the good ending just that he got like the glory of the talk show? Because otherwise, nothing about that ending. Like our ending seemed good.
How you described it seemed like he wasn't having a great time on it.
No.
Seems like he went into withdrawals, like in the middle of it, borderline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was no Alan Wake on his little night.
No, it was very similar, but not as good. But the other thing I want to mention is that so it fades to black on Scott Shelby's grave. Very emotional scene.
Yeah.
Like she's like, "I will never forgive you. I have nothing but contempt for you."
This woman has been brutalized by.
I like kind of wish I left her in the car,
Yeah.
in the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather
Because this
than
is
her
a
find
lot.
this out.
Yeah, like just
Scott
It's a
Shelby
brutal scene.
killed
it's
her,
a really upsetting thing
her
to.
partner, her son, and then like smooched her
Yeah. And then
while acting like
this,
he was helping.
I don't know
her.
if this happened for you guys the same way. I have in my notes here exactly what happened to me. Fade to black on Scott Shelby's grave. Quick, hard cut. I want to see them again. It.
What?
Did you get that?
I want to see them again. I'm a father too.
No? What happened?
The guy on his hands and knees,
Whomst?
the man you had to kill.
Yeah.
It's like a weird, like super like deep fried meme looking version of that scene. It literally fades to black and then like hard cut.
Oh.
I want to see them again, and Ethan goes boom and
Yeah,
shoots him in the
like the
head.
credit sequence.
And then
That's
it
part of
opens
the
the
credits.
credits.
Okay, yes.
That's the opening of the credits.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
goes from fade to black in the emotional scene,
And then boom!
to a guy just getting shot in the head.
I thought it was like a glitch you got where somebody just started
Yeah.
replaying a scene like at the end. But no, yeah,
No, I had
that's
that
how the
as
credits
well.
open. Because then it's like a bunch of dramatic, like mid-2000s movie
Yeah.
ending,
Right,
you know what I
and
mean?
like,
horrible
different-
ending.
with different-
Horrible way to open that up.
With a
I
bunch
spit
of,
on your grave, Scott Shelby. I want to see my daughters!
And then if you didn't choose to shoot him, it would still play that anyway.
Yeah.
That's fucked
I
up.
got it, yeah, because that's how I knew that this actual credit scene was just random scenes that
Oh, you didn't
could've
want to see
happened.
this guy get shot in the fucking head?
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah, right, that's how I felt, literally.
Oh,
It
That's
makes
hilarious.
me. I feel like stuff like that, like, because the credits kind of act as like almost like a highlights of all the most brutal shit that happens at the game, that can happen in the game, despite
Yes.
what your playthrough was. It makes me more concerned that maybe at least this time these developers were just a bunch of like edgelords that wanted to make these fucked up sequences and then be like, "Ha, that's funny and cool, right?" Huh.
We've
know?
talked about it a lot off camera, but like I did like have a much of the weird taste in my mouth after this one.
Yeah.
A little bit, just a little bit. Like, cause I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy the ride, you know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
definitely had fun and like it kept me on the edge of my seat. But I think it was just because, like you said, it was kind of just like the most like trashy, shocking things
There's
they
a lot
could
of
throw
shock
at you.
value.
It's an
stuff
exploitation movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I like that kind of stuff sometimes.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not saying I don't. Like, I get the point of it. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
but I wouldn't say it's like high art.
I
you
watched-
know?
no.
I watched Bone Tomahawk last night.
Did you?
That's a pretty solid. That's a solid one.
It's overhyped, but it was good. Could have
Yeah.
been 20 minutes shorter, but I'd recommend it.
It could have been like probably 45 minutes shorter.
It did not need to be over 2 hours long, but it was pretty good. So yeah,
I haven't seen all of it. It's the only one of his I haven't seen all the way through. I've seen his all those other films.
Did you get too afraid?
No.
There's some couple brutal scenes. It was slow, but yeah, it was like 6 or 7 out of 10. Definitely not bad.
I think that's the same rating you gave. Oh man.
The Pac-Man movie,
I don't know. You just watched another movie recently and you're like, not very good.
Spider-Man
And I was
New
like,
Way-
what would you rate it out of 10? You're like, 6 or 7.
Spider-Man
Oh,
No Way Home.
was it the war movie?
It was.
Oh, was it Hacksaw Ridge?
yeah.
Okay.
Jim Hacksaw Duggan.
Yeah.
You'd rate it the same as Hacksaw Ridge?
Put it right up there.
Oh, you did.
You already
That's what I'm
have,
saying.
but would you like to?
Yeah, they're about
Would you like
the
to
same
double down on
quality.
that?
I mean, they're very different. They're very different.
I think it's dumb to try to compare two movies.
Very
you know,
different films,
It's like
but I got the same level of enjoyment out of both of them, I think.
I would definitely recommend his other films because I haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, but I know what a lot of people have said is drags a little bit, and a lot of people don't like a slow burn.
It was a slow burn
It was definitely a slow burn, but it's there's
with some jank.
it definitely
There's
like
jank.
it like
But it's his first film.
There's jank.
yeah, it drags more than like a slow burn should at points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Well-
definitely like I said, it genuinely could probably be like 45 minutes shorter, and you'd be like, this is a great movie.
His other
Yeah.
flicks are slow burns as well, but I feel like they
He figured it
nail
out.
it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But what I mean to say is that I can like stuff that's like, just show me some fucked up shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? Sometimes. I don't always love that. But yeah.
Again, I can send you a link to a Facebook.
So I would say I'm interested in playing their other games to get a larger feeling for their game, like for how they make games. But based on what you're saying, at least for Indigo Prophecy, it seems like it's much of the same, if even more crude.
yes, Heavy Rain is much better than Indigo Prophecy, and I've played about an hour and a half, 2 hours of Two Souls,
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human,
Beyond
and
Two Souls. Detroit.
Beyond. So whereas like
Bed Bath.
Beyond Two Souls definitely feels more like Indigo Prophecy in terms of gameplay and everything, but it's a huge step up in terms of production.
Yeah.
Because it's starring the former Ellen Page. I don't know how you talk about.
She's not Ellen Page anymore.
Well, she transitioned to Elliot Page,
What?
You didn't know that?
Oh no.
Oh. Yeah.
surgery and everything.
Oh.
Yeah. Full transition.
Jesus, I didn't know that.
But yeah.
So I just don't know how you talk about someone's because it's different for every single person.
I thought you
I don't
were-
know how
yeah.
she or they or he prefers to talk about
Let me,
Themselves.
previous work.
if you allow
Yeah.
me to save myself, I thought you were gonna say Ellen Page, like the former star of this. I didn't know.
No,
I did not know that this person was trans.
And Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe is in that.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not trans.
No,
Nope.
not in this game.
No.
And then, but
Though I
the-
have seen him wear a dress.
Well, it does. It's not the same thing, Andrew.
It's a great effect.
It's the gameplay was a little jankier in some ways, where there was like there's a very specific mechanic in there that was not fully explained to me. I had to look something up, and I was like, oh, now I get it. But it's weird that they like upped some value and seemed to take a step back in some other ways. And then the bit I play of Detroit Become Human is like a perfect marriage of everything they've been doing, and it seems
Yeah.
like their best game by far.
Okay.
And the level of insanity.
I've watched a couple playthroughs of it, and it seems
Does it still have this same, I hate to keep saying jank, that we have with Heavy Rain, where the characters are all kind of weird, the story's not very good?
It seems like it gets better every time. But there is still a bit of that uncanny valley sort of like.
yes.
It's hard because what they do is they put you in some of the most insane fucking situations. So it's like, oh, how is this supposed to play out in a way that's
Yeah.
natural?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I'm excited to play more of their games. But real quick, I want to go through this article from thegamer.com.
The Gamer. The only gamer.
This is 10 unresolved mysteries and plot holes. So I just want to cover these real quickly.
Okay.
Why doesn't Scott Shelby know about Charles Kramer's secret? Why does Scott Shelby not know that it was Charles Kramer who had the construction site where his brother
yeah.
died? He's a PI. He seems to know a lot about people. How is it that he only found out about it then?
I don't.
He could have known and just.
I don't know
He
if
doesn't,
How do you know he? Well, I know he asked him.
because they reveal it. Or maybe he was bluffing.
Yeah. Like,
feel like
that,
there's
that
a-
would be conducive to him.
Because I had that
hiding
same. I had that
himself.
same question where I was like.
But he was
okay,
like, why are you putting flowers on the grave?
Yeah. The whole thing was weird to me.
He could still just be wondering that. Even well, no, I feel like if he did know that, unless he was just covering his ass. I'm
You
not.
think
trying
he
to
would
tear
know that he already
apart.
put flowers on the grave? Because my thought was that.
Yeah.
My thought was that he did it because he tried to drown him. I thought it was just Scott Shelby coming back and being like, "Fuck you! You tried to kill me. I'm gonna fucking murder you. I'm gonna ruin
Right.
you." You know what I mean?
Also,
But
his
at the
li-
same time, it's like you said, once he actually confronts him, he is asking the questions like, "Why are you putting flowers on the grave?" When it's like, "Well, you've seen him, I'm sure." And as a cop / PI who's clearly an obsessive serial killer, you've definitely looked into who owned the property. You've definitely, or you knew already because he's a big name in town. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
because the way it was laid out, you're assuming that the construction owners allowed you to place your rinky-dink trailer there. I think that's the thing you mentioned.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would not be allowed to, unless this is just some weird mistake that they made in the design.
Yeah.
You can't live on a construction site.
Also, like, yeah,
If
I
you're
mean,
not
so much.
associated.
There's so much that doesn't make any sense about that. And also that they everybody, they live in a small enough place where they still know each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're basically on a first name basis. Next one up is what's with Ethan's blackouts. Now this is something that says, was it just a red herring? No. And it says in 2015, a YouTuber named Hero went into a deep dive on cut content from the game. Sure, I'm sure that person did. But also, Quantic Dream put out a multi-part documentary series on the making of Heavy Rain.
Okay.
And they explain, and they actually show some of it. When you did the blackouts, you would actually go into a dream sequence, like surrealist dream sequences, very akin to what you'd experience in Alan Wake or Control.
Oh, okay. Or nothing
Max
like the
Payne.
Max Payne bridge.
Yeah.
Maze. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is footage of these. I'll put some up here, but so
Wow, looks cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
So
Wow.
The dream sequences would have worked to further dilute his thought and make him think that he could actually be the killer.
Right.
But leaving in the blackouts but cutting out what you're blacking out to, major plot hole.
Big move, bad move.
Airy and trypticane is another plot hole. So for a game mostly grounded in reality, the presence of Airy, the VR glasses, was a cool addition that made the game unique. How it works is never explained, nor is the drug Norman is addicted to.
That was my complaint.
Are the two and everything I know,
Yeah.
I've claimed to know, I've just read from other people.
Yeah.
Does he need the drug in order to use the glasses?
That's how I make my.
It seems like he
opinions.
shouldn't need it because the glasses are fairly simple in design. It's hard to believe a drug would be needed. What exactly was Scott Shelby's master plan? Like,
Yeah, especially since once he found Ethan, he was ready to still
He
just
was
murder him.
like, no, shut up, die.
Because
Anyway.
he says, like, he waited so long to find someone to finally fulfill,
Yeah,
you know,
who's not a
pass
coward
the
pussy
trials.
dad.
So, like, what's the point of saying all this up if all he wanted to do was just kill him anyway?
See, I checked out the cuck content, and he wanted Ethan to be his little daddy. He had a baby. He was gonna be his baby.
He was gonna pour like boiling water into a hole in his head like Jeffrey Dahmer and like have a little, you know, that way Ethan could just hang out in his house, like alive but not.
What?
That's
He's gonna pour boiling water into the hole in his head.
yeah.
What?
That's what Jeffrey Dahmer did to his victims.
Do you have a hole in your head just chilling out? or
No,
did
but like
create one?
he had a gun. I'd imagine he'd create a hole in his head, then put boiling water in it.
Gross.
Would that kill them?
It
Would the gunshot?
one time it didn't. One time the boiling water didn't. Oh, it was a drill, hand drill.
I wish
One
I
time it
hadn't asked.
didn't. He died eventually, but lived for a minute.
Something that is asked here is, what happened to the other fathers? So before Ethan
Yeah.
and Sean, there were 8 other origami killer cases.
Well, the one guy's all right.
What happened to the fathers? Yeah, well, one of the cases didn't involve a dad, since Gordy Kramer was a copycat killer.
Mm-hmm.
The husbands of Lauren Winter and Susan Bowles just disappeared.
So
One can
assuming
assume they're
they're
dead.
dead.
You do see a corpse at one point
Yep.
in the tunnels, which I don't think we mentioned, but if you
Whoa.
go the wrong way, you can find a corpse.
In the glass ones?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit! I don't think I
that's
saw
fair.
that. That would have terrified me.
And Hassan just didn't even attempt the trials.
He didn't even open up the shoebox.
Yeah.
I mean, he did, and he didn't even open up the origami or anything. It was just like weird.
So they're just kind of like, oh, it kind of sucks you didn't like mention any of that. Not a huge plot hole, but it's still the kind of thing where it's like, well, you know, it's an unanswered question.
My son was captured, and I got a strange box in the mail.
Why didn't any of the
probably.
fathers go to the police with the boxes?
I asked that question too. I'm pretty sure. I was like, why didn't none of them?
Nothing. Yeah, because it's understood that these fathers are not supposed to say anything,
Yeah.
but nothing
But it's kind
explains
of
that
yeah.
to them.
And I kind of like you bring it to the police, and then like they just go, like do the first challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
Get the thing, and I don't know. I'm like, you could have fucking figured something out if you had
Yeah.
more than just you thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Scott Shelby's tech makes no sense, which I've thought plenty of times throughout
Oh,
the game.
sure.
I see. I
really-
mentioned with the we were like, is it a Bluetooth receiver that you
Yeah.
put in, or is it like an encryption key, or what is it? You
What's
know
the
what I mean?
AI, female AI voice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that Scott Shelby using a voice transmogrifier?
right.
Could be.
It's Lauren Winters.
I thought it was weird that he
Uh,
had me recording these voice lines
Before I even knew.
before I knew him. I don't know. This is a weird game. Oh, can I do one quick thing before you keep
Yeah.
going? Did you guys get the bonus content that was the audition tape of
Yes.
Lauren? Did you guys watch that?
I didn't look at any of the bonus content.
It's not worth it, but it's interesting.
I think it is.
I thought it was okay. So it was like her.
Let you decide.
It was like her audition, but they played that at like an E3 or something as a demo for the tech of the game.
Yeah.
For the visuals, and I thought that was kind of cool that they included
okay.
that. So
It's a short film. I don't
Yeah.
think it's
Oh, okay.
actually her audition.
no, you're right. I'm sorry. That's what it's like referred to kind of as that.
It's a hybrid thing, like storytelling slash. It's just like a short narrative piece
Yeah.
Oh,
where
okay.
she's auditioning. The
And she's like-
scene is that she's auditioning.
And she's kind of doing that like Japanese theater thing where she's like a one-person show, and she's like retelling this crazy event about her ex and abuse or something.
Yeah, they all
No,
do
they
that
don't. No, they don't.
Everywhere.
You talking about Kabuki?
Yes, I told
Yeah.
you never to say that again on our show.
She's just doing a monologue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah, I'm
But
just
she's,
saying.
like,
I'm saying
animated.
it was probably, I don't know how much it was like a Kabuki theater.
It's like you can't say kabuki.
I said it was like that.
Pot mop.
Pot mop.
Another complaint here in
Pot
this
wop, sorry,
thing.
pot
This
wop.
is just kind of like a complaint, really, I guess. And it is an unanswered question, but like, you know,
Who was phone?
Moshi.
there's just a lot. There's a lot of throwaway plots. There's Nathaniel.
Yep.
There was Lauren's crazy ex-client Troy.
Yeah.
Oh, Big
When
Troy.
Troy's like, I'll see more. You'd go see me again. And you're like,
I
that
was
was
like, I bet I will.
that
And
was a
then
lie.
Adrian
Madison.
Baker,
The crazy doctor.
the crazy doctor who
yeah.
who Madison just murders.
Yeah, or the fucking the drug dealer that Sean just murders. I mean that Ethan just murders. I
Yeah.
did it because of you fuckers. Fucking.
Sean murders a drug dealer.
That's why he's trapped.
So Scott Shelby's finances make no sense unless
Yeah.
he's like, no, it makes no sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
He's
He's a retired police
don't
officer.
Kids don't have money. You know what I mean?
He's a retired cop. How would he'd have multiple cars, equipment, properties for all the trials. He'd have all the time in the world to set things up.
There is.
his association with Paco could imply that maybe he has some other shady shit going on.
I mean, you could think
Could,
because
yes.
he is, if he was a crooked cop, because it suggests earlier that Blake's like, I owe you know what I mean, from back in the fucking day. If he's a crooked cop, he could have other sources of income from stuff like that. You know what I mean? People
but we
paying him
never,
off.
nothing
And he has,
shows that.
in theory, had his entire life to plan all of this.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But
Last-
he'd have to have like a car for each father
Yeah, makes
to do
no
that
sense.
test. And it's,
Last trial. Last question. It's not a trial at all. Why did he not just kill Lauren?
He liked her. She was nice. That could feed into Mike.
Yeah, maybe he was
Headcanon.
having some sort of.
or maybe it was, maybe he didn't.
She was a huge liability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at this, she was a huge liability to a degree. But it was also like, you could very easily just be like, she's like a character witness. You know what I mean? In the event that like nobody gets caught, because he sent her away before anything got revealed. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And to a degree, in her mind, he's just a man who's doing everything in his power to try to find the killer. You know what I mean? To like figure out what's going
Yeah.
on. So maybe in his mind, he's got her convinced she's just another person to.
Just for how many times he was willing to clean up loose ends, it just seems odd.
Yeah, and especially since he had like the easy opportunity where, like I said, where like I wish I had just left her in the fucking car so she didn't
Yeah.
have to deal with that.
Well, that's Heavy Rain.
That's it, baby.
I think to take what Scott, the Waz, not Scott Shelby, said in his video, I think like this, it's interesting because I think this is exactly what he said. And I felt the same way. He said this would probably suck as a movie. It would suck as a movie. It would be very frustrating to watch. It would also probably suck if it was a more full video game. You know what I mean? Like if you had like health bar and like all that stuff. It wouldn't be fun. It'd be weird.
Be frustrating.
But as a hybrid of the two,
There's
something there.
It's a very unique experience.
I don't know. Would you guys recommend Heavy Rain?
I did to you guys.
Yeah, and
Would you do it again?
Well, to you guys again?
To the viewers at home?
Yes, that's why. That
why
was,
we're
that was
doing
the
this.
whole point of concocting this experiment of a show, is to talk about things that I think, man, I think other people should experience this, and I'm also not in the sense where it's like, this is good, someone else should see this. More like, I thought about this, and I gotta know what other people think about this.
It was a wild ride. Like I wouldn't say it's like I'm not going to be like it's a great game. You have to try it, but I'm like you said, like you should experience this.
It's a
Yeah.
crazy.
I think it's
experience.
well worth. I think it's well like kind of like watching a. I don't know. Like there's some bad movies that are well worth watching the entire thing
Yeah.
because it's an experience.
I
you
kind
know
of
what
wish I could go back in time to when this game came out and like,
spend $60 on it.
yeah, and watch people that I knew like try it out for the first time. And just like knowing what I know now and them not really knowing what kind of experience they're getting and just seeing them be like, what the fuck? Like, what is this shit?
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
That is also
Yeah.
what happened to me. I rented
what
this.
the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, like I rented this. I'm pretty sure in high school from like Blockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
Brought
I
it
think
home.
you mentioned that. I forgot.
Played it for like I think 20 minutes or something, and was like, I don't understand what's going on. And I was like, this was a bad.
I have to be honest. I almost dropped it after the first chapter, but I was, like I've said many times, I was just COVID sick and just
Yeah.
like I was just like, I'm not gonna fucking download and install another, because I got it on PS Plus or whatever, PS Now.
Right. Yeah.
Just downloaded it. And I was, you can stream some games or whatever, but I was like, I'm not gonna fucking wait for another game to install. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna play this.
Yeah, that can be hard.
And then it worked.
But that back in the day, I remember did the same thing with Final Fantasy. I got like the worst Final Fantasy game. It was like Final Fantasy 11 or something like that.
Finals Fantasy.
Finals Fantasies 11s. But I played like maybe half an hour of that, and I was like, I fucking hate this game. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'd love to get into those one day. I
wouldn't.
like the SNES ones, so.
I love Chrono Trigger, and that's like the closest I ever came to like enjoying something anywhere near what Final Fantasy is like.
Yeah, you might really like Octopath Traveler.
I think I would.
It's very close to Chrono Trigger, and I'm kind of stunned by how much I'm enjoying it. I think it's on Game Pass. Anyway, any final thoughts? You gave yours.
Yeah.
No, fuck it. Play it.
Play the game or don't. You know
Or
what I mean?
if you watch this,
Probably already have.
you had the interactive drama experience ready.
And you
Yeah.
you already got it all.
You got the full. But there's also inevitably more shit you could experience.
There's so
we
many
didn't
things that we didn't
experience,
talk
yeah.
about because
So-
we didn't experience them.
And I do think that's definitely going to be one of those milestone titles that kind of paved the way for maybe we get a really like must play kind of interactive drama game in the future, which might be, what was the one? Beyond Two Souls
Detroit-
is the best
Detroit
one?
Become
Commune. I've also heard great things about. It's the Dark Pictures anthology. It's the game they did that's kind of set in the Middle East, and you guys know what I'm talking about.
No.
Okay. Well, they did they're a series of interactive horror games, like in a sort of Telltale style.
Oh, I kind of played one of those.
And they were like not that great, and then they did one that everybody was like, "Whoa, actually,
Yeah.
you guys nailed it! Wow, this is really good."
out of nowhere. Because, I think I played the Ghost Ship one.
Yeah, it's like Man of Medan or
Yeah,
something.
it was bad.
That was they did a follow-up game, not
Okay.
connected necessarily,
but just another
their
game.
next game in that series, I guess, from what I've been told, is just I keep being told, man, it's really fucking good. So
Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And also, Quantic Dream is doing a new Star Wars game right now, so which is insane to me.
Wild.
Can't believe they got that license.
Wild. But yeah, Heavy Rain.
Just like ABC getting the license for the Alan Wake TV show.
It's AMC actually.
ABC, baby.
Nope. AMC. Home of the Walking
Alter-
Dead.
I was talking about Alternative Baking Company.
Breaking Bad.
All right.
They're going to be
Goodbye.
making some cool
Bye.
Alan Wake cookies and Dark Place.
I'll miss you.
Nuggets.
Dark Place
Dark
Nuggets.
Place Nuggets.